Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the MinnMax Show. I'd argue it's a damn huge episode of the MinnMax Show. I'm Ben Hansen, joined by Kelsey Lewin and her pet bird.
Waka waka.
We're joined by Jacob Geller.
Oh, banana.
We're joined by Kyle Hilliard.
Hello.
I was expecting more bananas from you. Jeff Marchiafava.
Jacob took mine.
I get it.
That's me. You talked over. Forget it.
Janet Garcia.
Hi, my cat left.
Perfect. And we're joined by Kyle Bossman, guest cohort. Oh, he's here, everybody. Everybody has gathered for a huge conversation about some new game called Donkey Kong Bananza. We need to give this game the discussion it deserves, not with the deepest dive, but with a big discussion about it on the main MinnMax Show podcast here. So that's why we've gathered so many folks. And then, of course, we need this big of a group for talking Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth, period. Parentheses, secret parentheses, it's a Pac-Man game. Let's talk about it. It's freaking weird. We're going to be talking about wordplay, going to be talking about the Pokémon Presents, maybe some games announced during that whole thing this week. Then back after the show, of course, we have wonderful questions submitted over there on Patreon that we're going to be diving into as well after a couple of us drop out. Oh, we're also, of course, joined by the one and the only Rumor Meister.
This early? You got it early this week?
So I got the early message.
Oh, baby. All right, here we go.
Here's the conundrum.
Oh, what?
It's encrypted and I need a password to unlock the
Obviously
Rumor Meister.
banana, right?
But okay.
Try banana. Try banana.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, a banana going with the first guest, best guess. No, rejected.
Did you put too many?
Okay, try another password.
Boss, when you won't
Yeah,
believe
did you sing it like B-A-N-A-N?
I always do to try and remember what it is, but no, Rumor Meister, they're shrewd. And so they have the world's hottest rumors in the video game industry. But
as we all know, that's not news to me.
Well, what's news is that I got locked out for 15 minutes. It's a cooldown system on the password.
Oh, that makes sense.
You think this is this person's first rodeo when it comes to high-tech stuff? Rumor Meister knows exactly what they're doing. Okay, we'll try back. Rumor Meister in bed. We got to unlock that message and get the new secret encrypted message to figure out what exactly is going on in the world of video games thanks to this wonderful rumor system. Here's the thing we have going on. We have an opportunity for everybody to win a copy of Donkey Kong Bananza, technically shipped out from Pink Gorilla Games, Kelsey Lewin's store over there in Seattle and Las Vegas. But here's the thing. You can help support MinnMax a number of different ways. Support us on Patreon. All that stuff is good. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. You can help support us as well by subscribing to the audio version of the MinnMax Show. Have it show up in your favorite podcast app every single week. And here's how we're trying to incentivize you to do that. Is you subscribe to the MinnMax Show on your favorite podcast app. You submit a review on Apple Podcasts that includes your social media handle. Whatever social media handle you prefer. It could be Discord, could be Blue Sky, could be Twitter, anything like that, Instagram. We will then randomly choose winners on July 28th. July 28th, we're randomly choosing 3 winners, and we're shipping out 3 games. Bronze tier, of course. A code for Squeakross on Switch, the Picross game that has consumed people's lives.
Very good.
Very insulting.
Silver
that could be
tier.
a gold tier.
It could be in and of itself, but look at this build. Silver tier, Xenoblade Chronicles X, a code for that game on Switch. If you're eager to check that out, play it on your Switch too. It'll run great on there. The gold tier, we'll ship out a physical copy of Donkey Kong Bananza. So if you want a Nintendo game, you can win a Nintendo game by subscribing to the MinnMax Show, leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, include your social media handle. We're randomly picking 3 winners July 28th. We'll see you there, everybody. It's here. Does everyone feel like this is it? This is like the Switch 2 coming out party, Donkey Kong Bananza. It feels like, all right, everything else was a mere appetizer. Sorry, Mario Kart. Now we are getting time to soak in a new console with Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, now I'm excited.
Is it? Is it a little bit of that feeling?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's no shade to Mario Kart. I just that's a game you're either in the mood for or you're not. It's not. It doesn't feel like we've ushered in a new generation. This is the first big game that feels like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've played Mario Kart. I enjoyed it, but especially even just like I'm falling back in love with the Switch 2 playing Donkey Kong Bonanza with that feeling of like, oh, I'm getting to spend a lot of time with my Switch 2 Pro controller, which I still think feels absolutely amazing. And I feel like now I can really enjoy this thing on a new level, which is
falling back in love. So in the 1 month that it's been out, you fell out of love, and now you're going back.
Well, it's been a rocky relationship.
You know those summer romances, Jacob, it's just a whirlwind.
I got the welcome tour to love, and then everybody dumped on my girlfriend, and so I had to dump her for a bit. But now Donkey Kong Bonanza comes right back swinging in. Okay, set the scene for where everybody's at. Kyle Hilliard, you're reviewing it for Game Informer. You're like in the final cutscene right now for Donkey Kong Bonanza?
Yeah, I literally put the system to sleep to come do the podcast. I'm like watching the end, and I'm excited to share where I had to pause when people finally see that.
Interesting.
I hope Nintendo isn't recording your analytics specifically, because they're going to be like, man, we really let Kyle down. He didn't even care. He just put it to sleep during the final cutscene.
It happens. I'm in I just got to a world called The Divide, which I think is like maybe 4 worlds in, something like that.
What's
it's
the
tough
number?
to try and gauge.
Like that helps.
It's sublayer 400, if that's
400, okay.
right. So does that mean just clearly fourth big world then?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little past the divide. I don't even know how much, like 8 or 9 hours, probably.
Sub-level 300, but my 4-year-old is really hogging the controller. So
I'm so sorry for that.
I've been watching him play a lot.
Oh,
do they like it?
He's just not on task. He's running around doing bonanzas when there's nothing to even punch.
Ugh.
But he's having lots of fun. So
I mean, the destructibility of everything just has to be like endless fun for them, right? For him?
Yeah.
Are you doing co-op with them?
No, I've just been letting him play. I don't think he wants to be Odd Rock or whatever. Pauline, I guess she turns into Pauline.
Yeah,
which was
a
a major surprise because I hadn't even bothered watching any of the trailers. So
Really?
I didn't know what was going on. Yeah.
Oh, whoa, that's fun.
The only time I had interest for this game was like 2 episodes ago or whatever, when you were like, hey, they did this big presentation and I didn't watch it, and then you guys started talking about it and you mentioned the destructibility, and I was like, oh, I have to pay attention to this. But the Odd Rock twist was quite the surprise.
Yeah, that's true.
So are you not an Odyssey guy, Jeff? Like, do you not like 3D Mario in general, or?
No, I do. It's Donkey Kong. I played and enjoyed the 2D Donkey Kong games back in the day, but I never have to play one of those again.
Right.
And I didn't realize it was that different. Anyway, you don't have to be.
No, it is funny.
This is not the
I'm
conversation.
Does anybody else have any questions for Jeff? Because I got a ton. It's like, it is funny how that is just your calling card. Like, you love Teardown, you love Red Faction, you love Bad Company. Like, destruction is just like your specific niche. A roguelike deck builder, destruction focus. That's it.
Yeah, mining games.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
I'll play those forever.
It's the most brain smoothing thing you can do in a video game in a good way. Like, this is doing the same thing for me that Vampire Survivors or something does, where it's just like, I don't even have to be working on the objective. I can just punch things and I'm like, rocks just being destroyed, gold I'm picking up, I'm making progress. This is great.
I mean, it is almost too much fun to get the gold. It's like, slashing, bushes to get rupees in Zelda. Like, I'm not compelled to do that all day. Whereas this, it's like, well, I think gold is good. I think I want more gold. And it's satisfying to get that gold. It's satisfying to dig. If this was just the game, I think I'd be okay just digging for this gold all day, every day. And it's so smart to also have those treasure chests pop up all the time when you're digging. And the fact that it's not just like every level has like 3 distinct placements of treasure chests, like, because you have clothes that increase the odds of getting treasure chests when you're digging, right? Yeah, it's such a smart idea of just incentivize you to keep digging.
It's funny, that turned me off, actually. Once I found out they were random, I kind of was like, oh, okay. Like, I thought I was finding something special that had been placed by hand by a device. You know, when it was just like, yeah, sometimes chests show up, I was like, oh, that makes it less exciting. I'm not going to buy that shirt.
It's just the treasure chest, though, right? Like the fossils and the random bananas and stuff, those are all lovingly placed.
Yeah, everything's made with love. Even the code for the randomization of the chest placement, Kyle, that's made with love.
They put lots of heart emojis in the code.
Yeah,
and it broke for a long time because of it, but it was worth it.
Bossman, somebody who's been training for this day your entire life, have you been going as whole hog as you wanted to here?
Absolutely not. It's been a really busy weekend for me. You know what I mean? Like every moment I've played of this game has been on camera, like performative, right? So I am looking forward to like being able to just like, you know, chill in my own chill zone and then play the game. But so yeah. I'm about, I think, where everybody else is, you know what I mean? Where it's like beneath 10 hours.
Right.
But as something I have been looking forward to for ages now, it has surpassed my expectations in a lot of fun ways. To me, it's a very free and open video game in a way that I didn't think even Nintendo would be down for.
Just the ability to dig through everything?
Recent Zelda games?
Yeah. And here's the thing is like, it's just so willing to be broken. It's just so willing to be like, go nuts, like have your own fun. You may just walk over this challenge that we meant to be like a really cool, like little triple jump platforming challenge, but you can find your own way around it. That kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I guess, yeah, it is a Zelda-like, a modern Zelda-like in the way that it's just, it gives you tools and physics and allows you to do whatever you will with them, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. There's something about that too of like, with Zelda, obviously unbelievable freedom, great creativity, especially in terms of the kingdom and stuff. But there's something about this game where it's like, hey, we know the camera's kind of going to break as you're digging around, and the frame rate might be a complete disaster at points, but like, it, it's totally worth it. You know, like you can really make this game look like a sloppy mess in a way that I don't know if you really could for Zelda, unless you're doing some wild speedrunning strat or something, you know? So it is an embrace of even more chaos on Nintendo's part, which is really
We're introducing too many concepts for discussion before you've asked everyone how they're playing. Like I keep waiting to talk about it because I want to hear what Kofi and Janet are doing.
You're right. All right, have you guys been playing a lot of it? It felt like with 7 people, that's a lot of going around the horn.
Yeah, I'm over 10 hours in. I just finished Sublayer 500. Yeah, and I honestly, I'm surprised by how not that enamored I am by it. I think I think the physics system is incredible. Like when I was playing it, I'm like, the GDC talk for this is going to be wild. Yes. Like people are lining up right now because I do think what they pulled off is really incredible, and I think they have some really super like fun and smart challenges. I think the challenge rooms are like really excellent. But ultimately, I think there's so much stuff packed into it. I feel like I am kind of sleepwalking through playing it. There's so much that draws your eye in terms of collecting, but I feel like the collection itself doesn't feel super meaningful because to me, the collection is about the fun of how you got the item. And I think that fun can be like lots of different ways, but there's so like the fact that I have 180 bananas at this point, I'm like, I'm kind of tired. Like I find myself a little burned out on the way it presents design. And it just feels like, obviously there's a lot of fun to be had. And I think there's a lot of joy in the dopamine, but I am someone that really enjoys engaging with like level design. And I feel very detached from the level design of this world.
Yeah. Jacob, where are you at for this thing?
I think I'm having a good time the whole time that I'm playing it. Yeah. I think what I'm struggling with is like, I don't think I'm going to remember anything specific from the whole game. You know, like it is as compared. There are a lot of ways that you can compare it to Mario Odyssey in terms of like its structure and, you know, it's kind of like the movement abilities that it gives you and whatever. But like, I would be, and I'm still totally open for the game to do this, but like there has not been a New Donk City. You know, it's like every level is just kind of the same mush that I'm like punching through. And they like, I am with Kyle, and like I love kind of accidentally stumbling upon things, and maybe you were meant to get there accidentally, and maybe there's a puzzle that I just skipped, and I like kind of figuring out ways to jank around things is like really satisfying.
Right.
But it is this weird experience where it's kind of I feel like we learn the same lesson every time you make a big destructible game, which is like, it's hard to do level design in a big destructible world. Right. And for me, that is kind of like the game is all just kind of like smushing into this big pot, you know, where I'm like, I'm having a good time the whole time that I'm playing it, but like, unless the ending really pops off, and it might, I don't think that it's going to have like a moment of the year for me, you know, in the same way that I think Mario Odyssey delivered pretty consistently.
Right. It is a really interesting just design challenge again. it's going to be an awesome GDC talk if they do it. But I was thinking about it with every boss I fight, where it's like, oh, cool, a big boss. I was like, I think just having core destruction as the gameplay, designing bosses is really hard. It kind of comes down to like, I don't know, you can take out their smushy legs and then kind of dig through to their core and attack them. But I think I'm right there with you, Jacob, of like, I'm enjoying myself so much every time I'm playing it. It's just like a baseline like bliss. But at the same time, I'm not fully blown away. But I'm curious, Kyle Hilliard, because I've heard good things about like the second half of the game, that it like ratchets it up in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like I was kind of getting a little exhausted by the destruction, but like the last like 3 layers have been like putting me over the edge of like, oh, this is one of my favorite games of the year. So like I think I haven't seen the full ending yet, but like I like the last bit of the game a lot, like a lot. But yeah, I think I'm like like above Jacob and Janet, but not quite over the moon, like for the vast majority of the game. I just like I'm also the kind of player who like when I play Dark Souls, like I have to roll through every box kind of. And that's like, and I'm kind of having to fight that instinct in this game to just like try to level everything. And it's almost like it's a weird emotional thing, because it's like, well, I kind of want to do this part, but I shouldn't, because it's not going to lead to anything. And I do want to continue on the game and see what happens. So I'm kind of having to fight against my normal instinct. But on the other hand, we're talking about how it's not as surprising as, say, like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
I have actually come to like that in a way. I like the world that exists here. I like the relationship between DK and Pauline. I like seeing Pauline like get more confident about singing over the course of the game.
Right.
And like there's a much more like sense of like a real place. Like just the fact that you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't know. I like it. It's cool. That part of the game is really working for me, and that it just feels like just a weird place that I'm genuinely exploring.
Yeah.
Where Mario Odyssey, as a point of comparison, felt like more like I was jumping, like level to level, and those levels were really cool and they were more distinct, but they didn't feel really connected. I
think the rock people, they kind of like nailed it with that. I think that's one of the most charming aspects of the game, that you can like smash them, and the fact that they like, I wrote in my notes, 3D platformer is when things have eyes. Like it felt very Banjo-Kazooie coded to like, our last conversation on 3D platformers.
Yeah, for sure. But like any game that just has like that, the objective as big and clear as head to the planet core. It's like, okay, it's nice that we have like that clean of a focus. It's the equivalent of get to the top of the mountain, except something new. And there's just going to be weird new layers of rock people society as you dig deeper and deeper.
I mean, can we talk about the first world that you enter when he's skydiving looked so similar to the opening Tears of the Kingdom cutscene that I was like, are they doing a bit? And I'm not sure if they're, were, but it's just like Donkey Kong, arms spread, falling onto like an island in the clouds. I was like,
doesn't the logo pop up too, or am I adding details that weren't there?
I remember. I think pops up later. I think.
Okay, because I remember like capturing it, right, like holding down to get video, because I was like, oh, I gotta put this side by side with Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, it is perfect. Yeah, but if it works, what do you know? But it is funny, like when you're jumping down the holes, like the interaction with Pauline. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it keeps evolving, but it just makes me laugh. Where you're falling thousands and thousands of feet, riding on the back of a gorilla, and she says, this should be scary, but I feel safe with you. It's like, what? Pauline is
I know writers who use subtext and they're cowards.
I love Pauline. There's a, she talks to you every time you go to sleep. She has one dialogue sequence where she's like, I opened a juice box or something, and I ripped that straw right off the box. It wasn't a problem at all. I think hanging onto your fur is making my hands stronger. I love that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's charming as hell. I mean, it is funky. It's a funky Kong here. Like when I first dropped into the hilltop layer was like the first time where I feel like still I'm trying to get a sense of like the scope, the structure of what we're all working with. But that was the first level where I was like, this is so different. Where it's just a big open level. It's where they teach you to rock surf, right? They want you to rock surf around, just to have like a rolling green hills level where there's a bunch of mud. And if you start digging, you realize like, oh, I can just dig forever through this huge level. It's like, that is something that I've never really done in a game quite like this. And it's such a funky thing to be like, okay, how then do they structure 3D platforming challenges and experiences within just this big mud field you can dig through? It's cool.
I think there's one really cool at the back area of that level in particular. So like, think of like, it's got like the diagonal slide, right? Like imagine like a slide that like, it's like a stairwell that faces you basically, where it zigzags, right? And like there's little obstacles that are like rolling down those stairs, right? And that's something we've seen in a lot of 3D platformers, right? Oh, I just gotta walk up the stairs and jump over those things. But like a really cool thing about the game, right, is that like because it is so destructible, you can actually like reroute the obstacles, right? You can make holes that make the obstacles fall before they could even touch you, right?
Right.
One thing we didn't talk about is Donkey Kong climbs too. He's like full on Spider-Man in this game, where like almost any surface you can just walk up really smoothly too. Yeah, with no stamina, because he's Donkey Kong. Why would he ever get tired, right?
It's impossible.
But anyway, I like that we have that twist on like a classical 3D platformer challenge, right? But it's like, this is our twist on it. Like, you can destroy these walls, you could climb up this way, you could just jump over them if you wanted to, you know. I do feel like there are moments where they do confine you into the spot of like, okay, and then here's a little 3D platforming challenge. Here it is.
Yeah.
The rules are the same, but like you couldn't fly here from the other direction or anything.
Yeah. I am excited every time I get to a little challenge area. Every time I go in one of those little pocket dimensions, things like, okay, it's almost freeing to have confinement in a game that's so open and about digging. You know, it's like, okay, here is a little challenge. Let's see if you can do it. And I'm always much more intrigued, especially like there's the one that is basically just Donkey Kong Country throwback, which I'm sure you were squealing about, Kyle, that they showed in the trailer and stuff like that. But it's so funny to have like, oh, you know, like Jump Up Superstar was such a great homage to original Donkey Kong. And now in this new generation of Donkey Kong, we get the homage to Donkey Kong Country and get to have that feeling of like, how quaint. Do you remember when this was Donkey Kong? Remember this is when all you wanted from Donkey Kong was running through a jungle? Now you can just tear it to shreds and we've added a whole new generation to it. That's really fun to see the shift.
I like that there are sections where like in the rock sliding area, there's that mud and you can't climb up the mud. You know, it's like if you dig down, you can't get up. And so there's like an instance where there was like a banana under the mud. And so I dug myself into a little hole and then I was like, I can't get out. And I was kind of momentarily like, what do I do here? Like, is he stuck? And then I was like, oh, well, this is on a hillside. So I just started like punching straight through and eventually the hill kind of lowers enough that you can just like walk out of it.
Right,
and it is
right.
like it's a very weird feeling to have in a game of like, well, I guess I remember the level geometry enough that like if I keep going this way, eventually I'm going to like come into open air again. It is like an unusual experience in a really cool way.
I mean, I know there's Minecraft. I know we've all been digging plenty, but like, it really feels like going back to Red Faction 1. Just in that sense of like, all right, I am stuck digging through these tunnels. Which way do I go to try and get out of here? I'm running out of ammo in that game, which made it slightly more challenging and stuff. But that's the game I'm thinking about the most, is the sweet old days of Red Faction.
Should we talk about, to not be overly generous to this game?
Oh.
Is this the best camera that they could have come up with? Because in the opening level of the game, I was like, I can't believe how bad this is. And since then, I've gotten more used to it, but I don't know if it was secretly better than I originally thought, or if I have just come to terms with the game's limitations.
I actually think it was just bad in that opening area, and then once you're in a more open area, the camera works better for that format. That's how I thought about it, at least, because I thought the same thing. I was like, the whole game can't be like this, right? Like, I am having fun punching, but come on. And then as soon as we were in an open area, I was like, oh, okay, this now, you know, you get little snags every once in a while. It's not the greatest camera of all time.
No, but I think you're right in that, like, in the tunnels in that open area, it just did not know what to do.
Yeah, it's not built for that.
What were you guys running into? Like, I don't know if I haven't really. I've had like maybe one instance where the camera got like stuck behind his head, but like maybe I've just been lucky. But I feel like when you're digging underground, I feel like the camera's like good. Like like when you're really going tunneling, like. It's like, what was the problem that you guys were hitting? Did I just like get lucky and like miss it or something?
I think in that opening area, the problem is that you will often be tunneling, but then between your tunnel and the camera will be like a different spot of open air. So it's kind of not clear if you're fully underground or if you're in some like it's just kind of like the tight quarters there. I was just like, I can't tell if I'm digging or if I'm in a tunnel or whatever. And probably if I went back now with 9 hours in the game, I would also understand it more because I've kind of learned the visual language. But like it really it was a pretty rude awakening to have that first level also be seemingly the most kind of like claustrophobic area in the whole game.
Yeah, it was like a really bad spot for the tutorial, I think. I think it makes the game, it doesn't show the game off well, which is like, I felt like the real game start, and I know it's like, oh, it's a tutorial area. I'm like, now we're out in open air and we can kind of see what the game actually is. Because I just felt like there were way more limitations in that opening area, which I kind of like see as intentional. But yeah, like to speak to the camera thing, I think if you end up digging and you don't have like intentionality to your dig, which I think is going to be a lot of players, because like if you want to just dig, you'll just start digging. The camera kind of mirrors your confusion where they're like, are you there? And it almost goes into like a first person angle for a second. But I also haven't ran into that like very much. But I'm also like constantly manually manipulating the camera like when I'm playing as well, so that might be part of it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think a funny answer to that question is this the best camera they could do is yes. Right. Because of like how crazy what they're actually doing is, you know what I mean? Because of the freedom they gave you, they're going to have to make a lot of concessions with the camera itself. Yeah. And so I think like the solutions they came up with are like the best you could do, you know?
Yeah. I have faith they tried to put it through its paces. They know the tech so well coming off of Odyssey for the developers and stuff like this. Like, I have faith that this is as good as you could conceivably do it if you want, this type of experience here, which I do agree is worth it. Where it's like, yeah, there are times where it's like a little jarring, but it's like, just keep punching. Just keep punching your way through and you'll eventually get out of the hill. Or it's like, whatever. It's not caused me any damage at any point while playing the game. So I don't really care that much,
Yeah, you will punch your way out. I was going to ask you, Hanson, if you had any motion sickness from it. Because my wife watched like the first 5 seconds and it was like, oh, I can't.
Oh, interesting.
And that was also in that area, so I think it's a little better. Also the kid was controlling it, so it was chaos on top of chaos. But
no, I've been good. I haven't noticed it. Playing handheld, playing on the big screen. Yeah, we both have been totally fine so far, I think. Seeing like the design of like the Void Kong makes me a little queasy, but I think that's just weird looking 8 people.
Because he's so sexy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's exactly it.
Poppy Kong and get a little dizzy.
Yeah. Bossman, are you sitting back while playing it being like, this is it? This is what I've wanted for decades. This is the Donkey Kong premiere experience.
What I like about it so much is that it's like an interpretation of the character, right? Like it is a very Mario-like game, but it's like, what is Donkey Kong's deal? What is fun about being Donkey Kong? And it's punching. We talk a lot about digging through walls and smashing things, right? But it's actually so fun to punch critters. To like punch your enemies is actually very fulfilling. Just seeing pieces of them smash off as you're just like hitting them. Feels so knocking explosives into them. Like there's just like a raw fun. And I think that's all based around the concept of like, what is a Donkey Kong game? You know what I mean? What does it mean to be a gorilla in a video game? And so I think like, it's just a really fun execution on like that simple concept of a Donkey Kong. Like, I think that, I think a lot of like what people are feeling about the world is valid, right? Because it doesn't feel like we're in Donkey Kong's world. You're definitely exploring a whole other thing. Yeah. But like, I feel like it's like the truest interpretation of the character that you've ever been able to control in like a really long time.
Yeah, every time you just look at his face or every cutscene, like it's just so expressive and so fun. It is so nice just to see him get his due in such a big way here. It is like, I'm still trying to understand. It's just funky to have like a 3D platformer where I think there's always an objective marker. There's always the little yellow marker telling you where to go. And so I'm still trying to do that balance of like, where's the most fun that I can have in this game? Like, it's cool to see new environments, keep plowing through. It moves along really well. But it's like, am I doing myself a disservice by not finding more maps, getting all the bananas, being decently thorough in every level, just to like understand the scope of this thing a little more?
I feel like that's falling into like the YouTuber critique trap of Mario Odyssey, where it's like, of these moons are pointless. It's like, just get the moons you see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like if you are sweeping every world for every banana, you're going to have a bad time.
Okay.
If that's like the way you're playing through it, you know?
But there is a little bit of like, you know, when we talk about the word mush coming up a couple times, I do feel like I'm hungry for like, show me some of that specific Nintendo brilliance. It's an awesome playground to smash stuff in, but I'm also craving that, you know, thing that Jacob and Janet are a little bit of like, you know, I want to see specific environments and specific clever ideas in the design specifically.
That's those little pocket dimensions.
That's it.
You referred to
that's
them.
what I was
like
going to say.
That's where they get really deep, and they're all over the place. And they're always, if it has 3 bananas, if it's the triangular gate, like you're always going to get some like spin on what you've been doing up to that point in an interesting way, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there's good stuff in the overworld too. It's just that I think there's so many pocket dimensions. When I come out of it, I feel like heavily disoriented to where I am in the space. And I think that's kind of my big gripe with it. Where coming over the level itself seems kind of hard. I think I'm just going to kind of start beelining and see how that goes a little bit more, because I definitely spent like a really long time in that first world. And I do think there's so much stuff that you kind of do need to just maybe
I do think
keep going.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to, like, when you're in an area, you can look at the map, and it is just like this big 3D rendering of the map that you're in, and just be like, I haven't been over there.
Right.
You know, not like I'm going to find all the bananas in this area, but just like, hey, there's a weird little floating island over there, and I haven't walked over there at all. And then you go over, and it's like, maybe there are some kind of random, like, just hidden in a cave in the ground bananas, but usually, like, each place is going to have kind of a fun specific idea within the level, or it will have a portal to one of those pocket dimensions or whatever. But like, it is the, like, I'm not trying to find everywhere or every banana in every level, but I am just kind of like I want to get to know the territory. I don't want to like leave big swaths of the level unexplored.
Yeah, you want to see what you got there. And it is always satisfying to hear, "Ooh, banana." Like that genius touch right there, to have that play over and over again, just have it drill in even more into your head. It's perfect. It's better than a Zelda chest chime, if I may be so bold.
Please don't.
Let's not just say things we were going to regret.
Okay.
I'm curious, do you
with
hate
you.
Pauline? Because you said you hate chatty characters. Are you like, every time you go to sleep, are you knocking yourself unconscious in the real world to not have to hear her talk to you?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm stuffing toilet paper into my ears. No, actually, I have enjoyed her so far. I was kind of worried about that. I think in the last overview trailer, like, okay, is she going to be obnoxious? Are they going to be forcing too much story in here? But I think so far where I'm at, I feel like it's the right amount. Like there's maybe
because he's a dad now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, the dadification of the podcast. Yeah, we've been waiting.
Anxious little girl. You got to help coach her through it. Totally get it. I mean,
in my situation, my daughter's literally 13, so it's like I may have teared up at some point.
Really?
I won't say where or when or why.
Oh, that's cute.
When she hatches out of an egg, we all know.
Yeah.
We all
that's
know.
what it was.
When you first climbed on
I
that.
remember when my kid did that.
She can be genuinely helpful too. Like, she kind of only speaks up when she has something to offer, which is like usually when my health is low. And she's like, "Oh, get that apple." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't." There's so much chaos going on. I didn't see the apple. Thanks, Pauline. You know,
she's really helpful
like,
when I'm actively punching a banana, and she says, "A banana."
She's excited too.
I hate when she says like, "You need a break," because it's like my health's at 1, and I'm just like there's no health in sight. Like, you're not. You know what I mean? You don't think I know I'm tired? On that note, how do people feel about the skill tree?
I've just been gunning for make me punch less, make my punches stronger. Like, it's like, take fewer punches to get through this level of material. I'm like, I don't really care about much else. I don't really need too many new moves right now. Like, there's like that spin move that I've been eyeing up a little bit. But I was like, I'm just happy if I could just have a bigger impact with the materials.
Welcome
It's
to
pretty
MinnMax.
boring.
I like it is boring, right? Like, but I do like it in the sense that it gives the bananas like something that makes them even more exciting to collect compared to the moons. You know, not everything needs to be compared to Odyssey, but it's like, there have been a few times where I've been like, oh, maybe I'll do that later, but I've been like, oh, you know what? I'm one banana away from like an upgrade. I will go ahead and do this now. Like, so I like that there's just a little more incentive there.
I guess I almost wish, I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, if there wasn't a skill tree and it just kind of randomly gave me skills, I almost might prefer that, because I feel like there are like 3 that have changed the way that I played, and then the rest are like pointless. You know, where it's like the thing where when you're holding a rock, you can double jump.
Yeah.
Changes the game completely. And I was like, oh, hope there are more of these. Not really. You know, it's like the one where you can skate over liquid or like rock surf over liquid is useful. And then most of them are just kind of health or, you know, your clap has a wider range or whatever, which is useful, but they're not. I don't find myself looking forward to any of them.
I just don't think that I'm using the Bananza mode enough. I'm not using it casually, you know, but a lot of those are like extend it by 30% or something. I'm like, it's fine. Like it takes a shorter amount of time to summon Bananza mode. I'm like, I'm not really using it that much. Maybe I should be popping that all the time.
I wouldn't realize this if I wasn't streaming, but even the double jump thing on the skill tree is a skill you already have. The skill tree just gives you the ability to hurt the thing beneath you with the rock.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that jump is really cool though. I think that aspect of like being able to at any time manipulate the terrain to either throw something or use it for that jump is like super cool. I maxed out the sonar like immediately.
Yeah.
Which I think has also like put me in a weird collectathon position where it's like at first I'm like, well, I just want to get stuff because I want to get stuff in the game where you get stuff. And then I'm like, this helps me get stuff. But then I kind of ended up in a weird position where I'm just like looking at only the sonar. So I don't know. It's been a weird like dance with, I think, like figuring out how to play it in the way that will make the most sense for enjoyment for me personally.
This is honestly more mixed than I was expecting. I thought we're all going to jump on here and everyone was going to be game of the year, slam dunk. Kyle Boston would be crying from seeing Donkey Kong with his new face, and we'd move
Kyle
on from
Hilliard
there.
cried from
I mean,
Pauline
that's
or something.
I guess.
I'm kind of there. I think it is.
You're
it
there.
is definitely like in my top 5 for sure, and it kind of went into that top 5 like this morning. Like truly, like I really like the end stuff a lot.
Okay.
You've got me so pumped, bro. I gotta finish this game.
Now I have to finish it, Kyle.
I think what's kind of interesting about it is like the core of it is super solid. I think we all agree is like good and fun and feels good to play. And so then there are these other, the kind of like the design elements that are kind of stapled onto it that are like, is this adding, you know, like the game could work totally fine without a skill tree. Is the skill tree actually adding anything to it, or is it like just as fun if it doesn't have one? You know, it's like, again, it's the destructibility is so fun, and that can be the driving force of a whole game, but it also makes a game hard to design around, and just kind of figuring out how they have or haven't adapted to those challenges, I think is really interesting to consider with this.
Because the banana's only purpose is the skill tree, right? This game doesn't gate you out of a new area unless you have a certain amount of bananas, like is a traditional 3D platforming thing. Mm-hmm. So like they'd have no purpose otherwise. So I feel like it's like a concession, right? It is like either it's like a gate to go to the next area or they come up with something else. And so I think you're right. I think a lot of people could have a really fun playthrough never touching the skill tree, but at the same time, like I prefer that to like, you can't go to the next area until you have 25 bananas, you know?
Right.
And it allows you to just change the way you want to play a little bit more. Like if all you want to do is punch harder, which is kind of how I'm playing, then you can do that and not really have to, you know, it just gives you a little bit more flexibility. It's not super deep. It's not like you're getting, as far as I know, Kyle, laser beam eyes or something insane, but...
But
I don't know, maybe.
Say no.
Okay, your silence is really scary.
He's not saying no to laser beam.
I don't want to say anything. I'm trying to be Jacob Geller in the Claire deepest time.
Smart, yeah. It kind of looks like laser beams are coming out of his eyes in the sculpt mode when you try and sculpt, and it just ends up with big protrusions of rocks going out of Donkey Kong's skull.
I didn't even touch that. Yeah.
You didn't touch that?
Not yet. No.
Oh, you got to dig with that.
When I heard pre-release that there were going to be several songs that Pauline sang, never would I have predicted that the songs would sound like they do in the game.
Right.
Like when she first started singing, I mean, I was like, is she singing in Japanese? No, it's just kind of like gibberish. But like, I think it's really fun, but it is so weird that it's like, it's a musical game where like, you can't hum any of those songs, really.
Yeah. You can try. I mean, you can do like the main song, of course, the one that she uses to open all the secrets, where she just belts out some beautiful tones for a bit. But
the Wicked bit, yeah.
Yeah, the Wicked.
There's one later where she just kind of says the animal's name a lot. Like, it's like you can just kind of hear her saying the animal's name over and over, which I like. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think in like that developer interview, they said that one of the designers just drew the zebra power up. And then they're like, okay, we need to write a song for that power up. Therefore, there's songs in the game. Therefore, it should be Pauline as the companion character. So like those songs are surprisingly important to the core design here.
I wasn't sure if the zebra was like known or not, but that's the one where she's like zebra, zebra, zebra. She just keeps saying zebra over and over again, which is great.
Perfect.
I think they might have revealed all the transformations in maybe that one direct, but I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Okay.
That'd be crazy, bro. That's too much.
Yeah, I watched that direct and I was surprised by some. So I don't think they're all in there.
Okay.
Some of those, look, before the game came out, I feel like we were talking about the little evil guys. It's like people are going to get real weird with those. Some of those transformations, when you get the banana, I'm like, this art is borderline obscene. Like this is like a Twitter artist is making rent by drawing this for people.
Okay, I'll keep playing. Just my art.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong, Janet, when we first played it at the Nintendo preview event. It's fun to look back on because it was like 60% of the station setup at the Nintendo Switch 2 preview was for Donkey Kong, and it was like largely empty. Which is like, okay, Nintendo is bracing for this to be like the scale of a Mario Odyssey, and I don't think it was quite perceived that way. And so I remember in that podcast talking about it, where it's like, I can see this having like the reputation of like a Luigi's Mansion, where it's like no doubt good, but a Luigi's Mansion level of reputation.
Or like a Kirby in the Forgotten Land was my like comparison.
Yeah,
like good design, but like not as like a little slept on.
Right, and I do think this is north than that. It is north of the Luigi's Mansion territory. I was definitely wrong on that front.
Super popular. Like, it's kind of wild, like how well received it's been and how like big of a boost it's given. I think Switch 2.
Yeah, that said, I would like to see the sales of this versus Luigi's Mansion 3 on Switch, because I could see that still outselling Donkey Kong Bonanza. But I'm curious to see.
Really?
Nintendo,
no, I think everyone's buying that. I feel like this is. I mean, I have no idea.
It's the second game. It's the second game you can buy for your new console. Everyone's gonna buy it.
Yeah. I think
hey, welcome to the first game to go buy, and you know,
and we all enjoyed it.
The Wild attach rate is like lower than you think, and that was like a launch Switch game, you know.
Yeah.
I did see some people like getting anecdotally pushed over the edge for like getting Switch 2 over the reception of this game.
Oh, that's nice.
So
okay.
I'm not sure how like mathematically relevant that will be, or if that's like 3 people in my timeline, but I do think it's building the excitement for Switch 2.
Yeah.
Hanson, I'll say this.
Sir.
I'm trying to think of like where to put it. I think it would break the top 10 of Switch games. I'm going to say this game sells better than number 10 of the top 10 Switch games.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, Luigi's Mansion is not in that top 3 or top 10.
It's not in the top 10?
No.
You know, people don't take
Luigi's Mansion 3 sold a crap ton. Okay, list of best-selling Nintendo.
It sold way more than you think.
Like, I don't get it. Why is he in a hotel? It's just the name of the franchise.
It sold 14.25 million copies, but Boss Man, you're totally right, is number 17 on that list. So number 10, you're saying this can outsell New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch?
That is an embarrassing number 10. We like the Switch, right? Might reconsider.
Then it's Mario Party.
It had Mario in the name,
more than
like, this was fun, right?
18.25 million copies. Yeah, we'll see.
Can it sell more than 18.25 million copies? That is honestly a great question.
What's the lowest non-Mario game on that list?
Why, the lowest non-Mario game is Animal Crossing at number 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, all the other ones are Mario games?
I mean, no, Smash 3, Breath of the Wild 4, Odyssey 5, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 6, Pokemon Sword and Shield 7, Tears of the Kingdom 8, Mario Party 9, not Mario Party 9, you know what I mean, Super Mario Party at 9, and then 10 Super Mario U Deluxe.
I mean, it is the interesting thing about Nintendo games is like Bonanza will sell throughout the lifetime of the Switch too. You know, it's like no one's it's like Call of Duty Black Ops comes out, no one's buying World at War anymore. But it's like people were probably buying Odyssey at full price right up until the point that the Switch 2 came, and still now. You know, it's Nintendo games just kind of don't get old in the same way that other games do.
Yeah, and if we're waiting like 2 or 3 years, according to Bossman, 17 years for the next like real Mario 3D platformer, like maybe that word of mouth will spread that like, hey, if you want a great platformer on the Switch, like made by Nintendo top tier, this is what you go for. So I don't think no. I bet by the end of the Switch 2's life, I bet it'll crack 18 million. But I'm not sold on that completely.
It would be weird because like Donkey Kong is like relatively, he's not that tier of IP, right?
Yeah.
It would be weird for him to crack the top 10.
Yeah. Who can say? There we go, Donkey Kong Bonanza. We'll be talking about it more. We'll definitely check back in after all of us have played a lot more. It's good. It's good evening gaming. I am delighted just to put my feet up and jump into this thing and dig around and try to get a better sense of everything that they're working with here. We're going to be unpacking it for a long time, I'm sure. Wait,
can I ask a question real quick?
Of course you can.
Okay. I had a very unpopular opinion with Echoes of Wisdom in that Tri was the cutest thing of all time.
Yes.
I think Oddrock is really cute.
Okay.
Am I alone?
Oh, like to that
No, he's
level?
awesome. Wait, Oddrock? Oh, yeah.
Oddrock.
Wait, the thing before Pauline?
The thing before Pauline.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny, Kelsey? I saw that, and I'm not even joking. I thought about, in my head, remember when Kelsey said that Tri was really cute, and Ben was like, him? What, is he funny or something? No, Kelsey, here's the thing. It's not that he's ugly. Like, he's kind of cute, but in a very, like, boring way. Like, he's the same as Tri. Like, they have the same face.
Yeah.
So I think if you, it makes sense that you, yeah, I love
You
that
have
for
a
you.
type.
Like
You know,
weird
what I'm saying?
sideways
Yeah,
faces.
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I like
He's
Oddrock's
not
voice
ugly,
a
but
lot.
I'm not like excited by him. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh my god, he's so cute. Like, give me merch of Oddrock. Like, I'm like, he's someone that's in the pit. You know.
Oddrock's
Sometimes-
voice is cute. I like Oddrock's voice
Yeah.
a lot. Like
Oddrock's voice is
I almost
cute.
like that voice more than just this. Which, you know, the voice performance is fine for Pauline, but I like that weird echoey Oddrock voice.
When
Also, the
Oddrock
cosmetics
was
are fun in
like
the game.
talking and making decisions, was that like Pauline, or did Oddrock like hatch Pauline, who is a different?
I
No,
think
she
that
said
was.
they turned me into a rock. So
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
She
it's
was
like
stuck on
it's
it.
Pauline in there the whole time.
yeah.
But she does have a rock brain.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I could have told you that.
I think there's something with that. Yeah. And maybe like, you know, she's just been stuck as that rock for like 1,000 years. Well, I guess no, the Void King did turn her into the rock, so I guess that would imply, that it was a recent
Yeah, it was
event.
like 10 minutes
It was like
before
a
we
week ago.
walked in there. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's not that tragic.
Not that similar to Tears of the Kingdom.
Here's the thing, though. Oddrock, sometimes when you pick up a collectible, it simply says, I'm happy. And that, I think, is unbelievably charming. Like, it is completely disarming for a video game character to just say, I'm happy after you pick something
Yeah.
up. And so I'm kind of with Kelsey here. I think Oddrock's very charming.
Yeah, all right.
mean,
we
It
got
goes back
something.
to the voice, isn't it? You know?
Could be.
Close your eyes when you look at him.
How dare you? Hey, speaking of charming, it's charming to be in the summertime. Oh, no. Hey, oh, yeah. Okay, we could try it. Yeah, the timer's gone down. Okay, does anybody got another password you want to try for Rumor Meister's email here for the message for the big rumors in the video game industry?
We'll try Bananza.
Killiard's 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay.
You had the last
Try
one.
banana.
Oh, no, wait, no. Yeah, you're right. We haven't done Bonanza. Okay, so Bananza.
Bananza.
One exclamation point.
Okay. Nothing. Oh. Nothing! Cool down, 15 minutes. Oh, Rumor Meister, don't tease us like this. Hey, no need to be teased, folks. The summer's here, and boy, is it great. But the thing about summertime, Kyle Bossman, that you might not realize, you gotta go outside to enjoy it. You gotta get out of
that,
yeah, you gotta get out of your kitchen, gotta get out of your house ideally. Go enjoy it, make the most of it. Don't be stuck. Your entire summer could be this, Jeff. In a worst case scenario, your summer is you're driving to the grocery store, you're walking down those stupid aisles, you got a squeaky cart, you buy some crappy mac and cheese, something else that takes 16 hours to make. You get back home, then you're in the kitchen, and then you blink and it's fall. That's what HelloFresh is here to help with. You don't want that situation. They're here to help you out by giving you great food delivered right to your doorstep. Super easy to make. You can skip all the annoying steps of meal planning. They'll give you some great recipes right on your doorstep. You cook it. Couldn't be easier. Someone dumb like me can do it. Have some guests over for summer, say, come on over, have a great meal. And they'll say, oh my gosh, you're quite the cook. And you say, maybe, but only thanks to HelloFresh, you can say with a light chuckle that you can only have in the summertime. That's right, everybody. HelloFresh makes it easier to find quick home-cooked meals into your schedule. Work them into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes right to your door, like panko-crusted chimichurri, barramundi, or sun-dried tomato grilled cheese sandos, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. They use high-quality ingredients, including seasonal fresh produce, proteins that travel from farm to your doorstep and are simple and easy to follow with directions. So make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com/MinnMax10FM. Get 10 free meals with a free add-on for life. That's HelloFresh.com/10FM, MinnMax10FM for 10 free meals and a free item in every box. Again, Kyle Hilliard, it's HelloFresh.com/MinnMax10FM. One per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box for new subscribers only. It all varies by plan, but go to HelloFresh.com/MinnMax10FM. Link below if you want to check it out.
I always get this mixed up. How many N's are in MinnMax?
There's 2!
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you got it. All right, Kyle, you got to clap on out of here, dude?
I do indeed.
All right, go write a review for Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I will.
Shadow Labyrinth, everybody. Let's enter it. We've been digging around, and imagine you're digging through the muddy hills of Donkey Kong and you come across a mysterious labyrinth and you enter the halls and you say, what is this shadowy place? And then a little magical figure pops up and he's an orb and he says, call me Puck. I'm going to make weird breathing noises as you navigate this Metroidvania from Bandai Namco. All right, Jacob and Kelsey and I have been playing a little bit of this Shadow Labyrinth game. I am very curious to hear y'all's take. I mean, ever since this was announced, it was like, what are you doing, Bandai Namco? You're making a atmospheric, grim Pac-Man Metroidvania that does not have the word Pac-Man in the title. We're here for it. And Jacob, are we here to enjoy it, or are we just here to go like, hell yeah, I'm glad you're doing it?
I think it's more of that second one.
Okay.
I've played about 7 hours.
Oh wow.
I think the game is not super good, but in a way that I find pretty interesting. Like it's not mid for lack of trying.
Yes.
And maybe part of my problem with it is the pacing, where it kind of feels like it's paced like it's like 40 hours long. And so maybe it is, and if I played the whole thing, I would be like, this is brilliant. But right now it is like, it's a curio, and there are some things that I definitely are like, that's a cool idea. But in a world where, I mean, if you're a Metroidvania fan, my God, do you have a lot of like top tier games to play. One that's like just kind of okay, it has a hard time, you know, getting its head above the crowd. Right. It's like in such a funky spot because it's like, hey, it's Pac-Man, it's Bandai Namco, but at the same time you play it and it's like, it's atmospheric, but budget atmospheric. It's like a weird level of like, there's certain animations where it's just like, this just feels Flash adjacent, but it is cool that they're trying to create a tone with clearly a limited budget for this whole thing. Yeah, but it's like all the great Metroidvanias of recent years have limited budgets. You think like Hollow Knight was made for $1 billion? You know, it's like budgetary restrictions are kind of key to this genre, and we've seen them pull. You know, I bet this game cost more than 9 Souls, right? And like it's not operating at a 9 Souls level.
Right.
Yeah, this game has been in development since I think 2020, like a weirdly long time. And I don't know how much of that was like we're actively working on it versus we're playing around with the idea of gritty Pac-Man. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is based on the what's the name of the Amazon
Secret Level
thing? Secret Level.
Yeah.
That was like they were already most of the way through making this game, and they were like, do you guys want to use this concept? And it just kind of worked out at the same time for, you know, being a sort of prequel to this game. But the other interesting thing about this, I feel like, you know, we're talking about how weird this game is, and we're talking about this a little bit before the show. I don't feel like enough people are asking questions about this.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot of, like, stuff in English that is like, what is going on here? So I was trying to just read some like, Google translated, so it's not the best, like Famitsu articles and stuff. Kazuma Koda did the concept art for this. The guy who did all the concept art for like Nier and Code Vein and like some of those really weird, gritty games.
Oh, weird.
That was just randomly said in this interview, and I'm like, oh well. I mean, that doesn't sound budget to me, but then it does end up in presentation kind of looking like, yeah, someone just said put a dark filter on a Metroidvania, let's go.
Right. I do, like, while playing it, I was like, God, over anything, I want to be in the pitch meeting for this game, because that they had some sweet concept art that they slapped up on the wall. And like, okay, this is our vision for the future of Pac-Man. But I was struck, Kelsey, and I'm curious where else you were digging around, but I was like, okay, the game's director, because I was also trying to get a sense of like, where's this thing coming from? And it's Tomoaki Fukui, forgive my Japanese, but he's also the director who made Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
He seems like he's had kind of a weird career. He was at SNK and then Capcom, and then was part of that weird Capcom / Nintendo / I think Konami spinoff called Flagship that did just like a lot of I think they did like the Zelda Game Boy Color games.
Right, right.
And then some of the handheld Kirby games and stuff. And then it just all got absorbed back into Capcom. And then at some point he ended up at Namco. It's a very weirdly, you don't tend to see Japanese developers like float around between studios this often. So I was almost convinced at first. I was like, are we sure this is like the same guy? Like he really just has worked for all of these studios, but apparently. Yeah,
he's an old timer. I mean, he was a producer on the Samurai Showdown series. And then like, he's working back on arcade games. Like he worked on Nam 1975 back in 1990 and stuff. So it's cool to have like this old time director who worked on real arcade games to now try and reinvent one of the most iconic arcade characters of all time with Pac-Man as a Metroidvania now.
I mean, I don't think that this is their vision for the future.
I don't think so either. You're right.
I think that's overstating it. I think it's something that I would love to see from more developers, which is let's have fun with our IPs. Let's not be precious. Let's put them into a weird genre and just see what works.
Yeah.
But like this is much more. It is playing with Pac-Man and actually some other arcade game lore in kind of fun ways where it's like you'll fight a mech and the mech's name will be like GH0S plus, and it's like, oh, ghost, like you're fighting a ghost, from Pac-Man. And the most obvious ability that you get really quickly is that there are these rails. And you can navigate the rails as you jump onto the rail and you become Pac-Man and you go wah, 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 and you like go and eat the different stuff around.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's cute with the Pac-Man stuff. I don't think that it is intended to be more than, a kind of weird digression, though there is a lot of effort put into the lore of this game in a way that I think is kind of self-defeating, where it's like, boy, they got a lot of acronyms. They have so many groups that they're telling me about, and I do not care about them.
Yeah, just like from the opening scene where it's like, somebody, presumably in our world, playing a little handheld device, and they get sucked into it, of course, like all good games should start.
That's my favorite part. I haven't seen a hint of that for the rest of the game that I've played.
But then they're trying to be so mysterious. Like, it's the type of game where it's like, okay, we got to go to sleep. And then you're going to have visions as you sleep that's revealing a little bit more about like, who is this mysterious puck character that's floating around you and making waka waka sounds as it gets the pellets as you're on the D lines. But of course, the pellets are called auras in this game overall. So Funky Curio is the final resting spot for good old Shadow Labyrinth.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I want to talk about the design a little bit, just because it is like weird, where like the checkpoint system is very strange, where a lot of Metroidvanias have adopted kind of a Souls-like checkpoint of drop everything when you die, you bonfires, go back to it, which I don't think is actually very good for the genre, because it doesn't incentivize exploration. It incentivizes going back to the place that you died. This game doesn't do that, but it has kind of big save points that you can navigate between, and it has checkpoints in between those. But you do have, in Soul Style, you have like Estus healing items, and the checkpoints don't replenish your healing items, and they're really far apart. And so sometimes you can like get to a place where you get a checkpoint, but you just don't have enough healing to get through. And so then you have to like go back to the kind of bigger checkpoint and just kind of start over. It's a weirdly hard game. There's a lot of combat.
So bad game design is what you're saying.
But it's like, it's an idea, you know, like I would like to hear someone kind of explain to me why they did it, because it's not just doing the obvious thing. And I think that if you got deep enough into this, you could maybe see like, no, this is actually a really good idea because it allows you to do all this. But I haven't seen that. And similarly, like there are so many empty slots on my upgrade tree that I'm like, the game's going to give me a lot more. But I have played 7 hours and I have an air dash and I just got a grappling hook, and that's it. And then some combat moves, and it's like, it is really slow doling out kind of the things that you expect from a Metroidvania. And so it's just like, it's weird for such a genre which has so many games that you can point to and be like, that is an exemplar of the genre. You'll be good just copying that, which is kind of what Prince of Persia did last year. This is making its own calls, and it results in a game that is weird and interesting, but I'm not really seeing the results of them kind of zagging.
Right. Yeah.
It is weirdly long. I mean, I am not going to finish this. I also don't like Metroidvanias, so I am not the target audience for this at all. I just thought it was really interesting, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna check it out.
You got it.
People are saying 30 plus hours to beat.
That's aggressive.
I'm not a big Metroidvania person. That feels really long.
Well, I mean, let me see how long. I'm gonna check how long it took me to beat Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia took me 20 hours. So it's like, I mean, these games can be long. And Nine Souls, I think, was longer than that. But it is, they're not doing a good job of dropping breadcrumbs.
Right.
You know, like they're not giving me that kind of enticing power creep that the best of these games
Maybe
do.
that's their compensation. Instead of the power creep, they have the mystery creep. Like, don't you want to know what's happening in this wild world? We've spent a lot of years on it. That is probably,
I've gotten way more story than I've gotten power-ups.
No, I think it's an interesting release, and it's interesting that it comes so close to the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Because, like, what? Pac-Man's from 1980, Donkey Kong's from 1981, and then especially if you rope it into also the recent release of Missile Command Delta, which is that weird reinvention of the other arcade game, Missile Command, right? Where they try to make it like a first-person narrative puzzle game where then the Missile Command section is like a turn-based strategy thing. It's like, apparently it's not bad, you know, from Atari, that people are digging that. But it's just fun to see like these 3 iconic brands now, 40-some years down the road, and they all are just in completely wildly different places. But it's an interesting puzzle to try and figure out of like, all right, iconic game like Pac-Man. What do you do with it? It's iconic. It's important. It's the best. If they make a new version of Pac-Man, are people really going to buy it? They did that with the Championship DX games. Those are great. We got 2 of those. We got that out of our system. So like, what do you do with an iconic brand, iconic game when you've just had it for 45 years? Like, and Donkey Kong's an interesting example of like, you keep evolving it to be wildly different. And this is another path of let's zig wildly and hope there's an audience there to catch us.
Yeah, and they did in one of the interviews, I forgot to write down who said this, but they said they were looking for a new audience for Pac-Man, which I just thought was kind of interesting because who isn't the audience for Pac-Man? Like, Pac-Man's kind of universal, right?
It is, but at the same time, what is the situation, and I'm sorry to be a corporate shill, what is the situation where you're going to pay a bunch of money for Pac-Man? I feel like you're more likely to buy like an arcade cabinet in your house with Pac-Man on it, like Janet did, of course, rather than drop $30 for
mistake too. I don't got space for that thing. It's a burden on my whole family.
But how can you expect that out of something that's 45 years old to keep printing money forever? Like, I love Pac-Man. I'm not saying, like, give up Pac-Man. Like, let's stop making Pac-Man. It's just, like, does it need to be a money printer until the end of time? Or can it be, like, a little money spitter outer, you know, some coins here and there.
Yeah, you make your $30 from every laundromat in the country. That should be good.
Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong's a moneymaker.
Comparison's fun, right? Because Donkey Kong isn't just strictly about what it was like back in the arcade still, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You wouldn't say like the fundamentals of Donkey Kong are Mario jumps over barrels to go kill him, you know what I mean? So it's like Pac-Man needs more reinvention. So I mean, like, this was a stab at it.
But a mechanic.
Yeah,
like he
but
just
so
needs
Tetris.
pellets. That's his thing.
The maze.
And I think
it's the maze
Tetris
and
is doing a lot better than
tables.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Janet, that they invented. I mean, on that note, they've both done the 99 route of like they made Pac-Man 99, like you mentioned, Janet. Like they shut it down in 2023 apparently, but that was also an attempt at them trying to do it. They had that Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chain Chomps, as we all remember on Steam, which when I was streaming this Pac-Man game, I was talking about that, and apparently it has one player currently on Steam for that multiplayer Pac-Man game, which looked kind of fun. If you could get a group together, I'm sure it'd be all right. It was just fun.
Plus.
Ooh,
they should bring back 3D Pac-Man World, as Chan 1150 points out in the. Annie talks about Pac-Man World 2 like once a week. It's one of her favorite games.
Well, Bossman knows that it's the best.
Pac-Man World,
of course.
like not a crazy long time ago.
Well, they did the remaster.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They released them.
They re-released it.
At least the first one. They didn't do the second one.
I don't think two. We're still waiting on two. It's happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someday.
Yeah, someday. We'll see how it goes. All right, Shadow Labyrinth. Let us know if you're playing it. I don't think it's flying off the shelves, but cool that they did it. You know, somebody on Twitch chat when I was playing it, they said, yeah, the world needs insane games. It's like, yeah, I'm very glad that Shadow Labyrinth exists. Yeah, it's perfect.
Just like condense all the lore down into like a 15-minute YouTube video for me so I don't have to play the rest of the game, but I can still get whatever cool stuff they have hiding in there.
Yep, that's the way to do it. All right, Kelsey, you got a busy day. You're going to clap on out of here?
I'll clap on out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's talk about some new games. Quit living in the past with our old arcade franchises. We got hot new games derived from other hot new games. Wordplay is out right now on Steam, developed by this can't be right, Mark Brown from Game Maker's Toolkit.
Game Maker's Toolkit himself.
My God. And the easy shorthand for Wordplay, and it's too condescending for how good of a game it is, but it's Scrabble meets Balatro, everybody.
That's the best pitch I've ever heard. Like when
that sounds nice.
When he put so Mark Brown made a game that released last year called Mind Over Magnet, which was just him being like, I'm just gonna make a game. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna make the best game of all time. I just want the experience of doing this. And I was like, that's a cool project. And then he was like, I'm making a second game. It's Scrabble Balatro. And I was like, oh my God, this is about to be your main income stream.
Yeah, and it's a funny journey. Like on his YouTube channel, Game Maker's Toolkit, you can see he's got a couple of videos chronicling the history where it's like it started as a game jam. And then I was like, okay, well, I want to take a break. I want to get back to YouTube full time. I want to take a break from game development after Mind Over Magnets. But I guess I got to lean into this more and finish this thing off. And then he started getting really worried because there were other games that started popping up that were also... It's a word game, but it's Balatro. It's Scrabble, but it's Balatro. And he said, it's interesting perspective, because he said, like, when the first one popped up, he was really nervous about it. Where he's like, oh my God, I should have revealed my game first. I'm screwed. Now it looks like I'm ripping this off. But then a bunch of other ones popped up. And he's like, and then I felt great about it. Because suddenly it's like, oh, I'm part of just like a game design movement. Like we're all inspired by this together instead of just pointing at, you ripped off this person. And plus, he did a really classy thing of, in his video, talking about the game's development. He showed footage of like all the other games that were kind of this exact idea and gave him a little plug and stuff, which I think is a really nice way to go. Because there's stuff like Wordatro, I think, is another one that is that same idea.
OMG Words. Okay. Honestly, OMG Words is way more Scrabble Balatro than this is. I actually wouldn't say this is Scrabble Balatro almost at all, other than the fact that there's some slots. Because the thing about Scrabble,
I guess it's more like Boggle. Yeah.
Yes, because the thing about Scrabble is I freaking hate Scrabble. I hate Scrabble. It's just I don't like the design of it. I don't like the having to like strategically lay out your words, and that's like such a big part of this, which this isn't laying out your, like the words can only be laid one spot.
Right.
And I just want to lead with that in case people like me don't really vibe with Scrabble. Like I would say this is not Scrabble other than that the tiles have value.
Right.
Yeah, it's like bananagrams, maybe.
Yeah. But it has a point system, and I guess that's the Scrabble layer, in that there are slots like in the back half of the word that give you extra points, but it is not like, if you want Scrabble Balatro, that's OMG Words, a game that like I thought was fine. But I do like this one a lot, actually.
I really like wordplay. It is just a nice lesson, especially for like, their second game that they made. Just the presentation is so nice and clean. The sound design really pops. It's like you can do a cheap version of this and still be like, oh, I get the idea. That's inherently satisfying to play as a game, but this, it has like a nice level of polish, and it just feels good to click around and play.
That's interesting, because that's the one thing I kind of don't like about this game. Is
the presentation?
I get the style that he went with, and it makes perfect sense, but it feels like if you're making a word game, like that is the style. And like Wordotro, when I looked up Wordotro, it was like same style. It's like like Words with Friends, kind of like just completely sterile, no personality. And I wish like he didn't have to go like full Nubby's Number Factory. You don't have to go full Nubby, but like
never go full
I
Nubby.
Wish when I play an indie game, I like to get like some sense of personality and style of the person who's making it. And this feels like it was designed, by committee or like a focus group to like appeal to the broadest base, which is a very smart thing for him to do. Yeah. And I'm sure he will sell many copies by doing that, especially if and when it comes to mobile. But that was the only thing I'm like, yeah, like it looks really slick, and it, but I get no sense of personality.
You wanted edge
from it whatsoever.
A little bit.
I think it's a really fair criticism. When we were talking about it in the Monday meeting, right, and I looked at the first screenshot of that game, I'm like, oh, okay, I get what this is. Right, and I was dismissive of it because it looks like Words with Friends, to be honest with you.
I think that you're right in that it's kind of, its final form will be as a phone game. Yes. Like currently I'm playing this on my Steam Deck, but I'm basically counting the days till this can be the phone game that I play. And it does totally have that aesthetic. And I mean, it's like, it is also Mark Brown's aesthetic. Like if you watch his videos, this is what his videos look like. Like I think he is, I don't totally know his background, but like I think he is kind of a graphics and UI guy. And so like it to me, I recognize his character in it, but his character is this kind of like very streamlined, somewhat corporate looking,
a clean gentleman by and large. Yeah. So like the things that really stand out and make it fun of like, there's a good variety for all of your runs. Like, okay, this slot, when you're spelling out a word, this one, the points are going to be 3 times the amount. So depending on the letter and the score on the letter, Scrabble style, whatever you put in there, that's going to really multiply in the big way. So it's like, okay, so then if I put the letters there, I can kind of work backwards and build it in this funky way. Or like, what is it? Oh yeah, it's like, okay, special round. Then for this slot, if there's a vowel here, it'll be destroyed. And then they have like modifiers on top of that. They make it really good. Like if you start your next word with the letter that you ended the previous word on, it's worth 2 times the points. Like just, it keeps stacking that in a really funky way that personally I like a lot more than Balatro, but Balatro wasn't really clicking with me. But working with letters, I feel like is so much more fun as a little puzzle here.
Well, I actually like really want to put, and it's funny because it's like so silly to say like the way the developer describes the game isn't but it isn't. Like I think Scrabble Balatro paints a really specific picture that is not accurate to how the game is. Like there are multipliers in the sense that the tiles have value, and there are certain slots like the 5th slot you gain +5, so it incentivizes you to spell longer words. But it plays way different because it doesn't lean as heavy into like immediately hitting multipliers and stacking things. Like you get modifiers a lot more slowly. It has like a layer that's like deck buildery-ish, but not really. Like you do can add, let me add an extra S or an ing tile to my bag.
Right.
But I say this as someone that's played OMG Words, I've played Wordotro, and I've played Vertigo, all of which are games that I think are so chasing Balatro, they lose the forest for the trees, where they like miss what makes Balatro exciting, and it doesn't work as well in the word format. So it's funny because when this got like brought up, I was like, do I want to play another Scrabble Balatro? These always kind of leave me feeling like this sort of sucked. And then playing this, I'm like, oh no, this is like totally different. It feels like it's finally doing what I've been wanting from this space, which is there's nothing wrong with looking at Balatro and thinking of what are ways that I can, use that to make fun and exciting design.
Right.
Without literally feeling like I'm dragging and dropping Balatro into a word skin. And I think the presentation of the tiles being in that like grid style, the ability to reshuffle them, like this just leans so much more into making it fun a fun challenge to spell a word. Well, I think a lot of other Balatro-y word games put themselves in such a corner that I'm like, okay, unless I am like literally a word savant, I'm not going to come up with anything. I'm dying in 3 rounds. I can only spell cat. I feel dumb. And this feels so much more free form to me.
It's interesting because I agree with you that it is deceptively difficult to put the Balatro format onto something like this. And I kind of have some of my complaints with the game come from that, where it's like in Balatro, you can make your cards special. You can make this card add additional multiplier. This one gives you more chips, whatever. In this, you can also do that with tiles. You can say this tile has a period at the end, so if it ends the word, then you get double the points, which is like awesome. But in the Scrabble bag, there are 89 tiles as opposed to a card deck starting with 54, and Balatro makes it pretty easy to remove cards, and that's not really a mechanic here. And so it's kind of like this is facing different challenges because it's like it's harder to kind of sculpt your deck with Scrabble or with the tiles than it is with Balatro. But maybe that is just me kind of wanting this game I already know when this is doing more different. And I like that for both of you who were not, I think, as into Balatro as me, like that this is kind of hitting the buttons where Balatro didn't. I think it's cool that it can. Janet, I don't know your Balatro experience.
Yeah, like Balatro was like my number 2 game of the year. Okay. But I wasn't as good at Balatro as I think like the real like hardcore Balatro people. Like I have a lot of hours, not a lot to show for it. Never quite cracked that code for Balatro, but I think it's a fantastic game. I think the other thing I want to add to what you said, Jacob, is you're totally right. Like I think too often developers are pulling from the formula, but kind of forgetting or like maybe getting caught up in the ways that it doesn't work. Like one way that I feel this a little bit in wordplay, but less, and that's why I like the game so much, is you can't like lean on like a word the way you could lean on like a strat in Balatro. Like in Balatro, you'd be like,
you can't just have a flush deck.
Yeah, it's like, okay, just it's all A's, baby. It's like that's not a word. Like, and also because there's such a randomization, such a bigger pool, it is different. And I think that's why wordplay does work for me, because it is the least Balatro-y of the games I've seen in this space. And because of that, I feel like it falls victim to things a lot less. We should probably also speak to the core mechanic, which is sort of the playing is like the verbiage they use for it.
Right.
I don't know if anyone wants to break down like that, how that functions mechanically.
I mean, it's like playing your hand. Is that the idea?
Yes, but like you can gain like plays. Like instead of picking up a modifier, you can gain like more abilities to play, and you need to like fill the round. Like the round will have like 50 points, 100 points, whatever, and you fill it. And what I think is unique about it that I wanted to bring up was if you have modifiers like slotted, you can also sell those modifiers to gain like play rounds, which I think is kind of just a unique angle to it, where it sort of is leaning more into like the amount of time you get, which I think you need to in a game where it can be hard to like spell maybe a long word given like whatever tiles you might pull. No, so I thought that was kind of an interesting twist.
Like it is cool, and in the way that the best deck builders do, that you can play, the gameplay is always kind of the same, but you can make yourself builds that play really, really differently in a way that's fun, where it's like, oh, this round, actually all I need to do is spell 5-letter words that have more vowels than consonants. And if I do that, I'm going to get like 1,000,000 points a round. Yeah. Versus I'm going to try and make the longest word I can every round. or whatever. And it's like, I often play this like with Annie, with both of us kind of just looking at the board, and she's way better at just spelling words than me. But then I have played enough deck builders to know, like, oh, this is a synergy. Like, if we start doing this, then it's going to build up. And so it is just fun that, like, you know, the thing that you never get in Scrabble or Boggle is like an incentive to spell a different word because it ends in ER. And then that like gets you points. And so it's just kind of like, we've all played games where you just make words, but I do think that this challenges how you make words to just kind of like make it feel different than you're just playing another round of Boggle.
Yeah, not just the most complex or longest words.
Right.
He did a good job making the scoring not get in the way too much of like that, the main mechanism of that, where and like one of those things is that you have like the points that you get from the words, which is like chips and Balatro that are actually on the cards. And then you have the bonus points, which is like the multipliers in Balatro. But unlike every other game that tries to do Balatro, like they don't multiply each other. Like it's just additive. And so you're not like the way that you build out, you do get these different things that will give you bonus points from stuff, but it's not as important of like trying to balance these two things so that it's multiplicative in the way that's going to give you this massive score. Like the scores don't go like out of the stratosphere, like you know, like you're not trying to break the game as much like in most roguelike deck building games, and instead you're just focused on like, yeah, okay, like 5-letter words now, and I want that X to be, you know, in the third spot because that's where a multiplier is, and I like that.
Yeah,
like you're just mostly focused on figuring out like words to make, but it's not always just like the longest one that I can make.
Yeah, for sure. It is, you know, we talk about like, oh, slam dunk, he's going to quit YouTube. This is such a moneymaker. And again, it's Kyle Bossman's favorite thing of looking at Steam reviews. Like it's doing well. It's at 466 reviews. And I
hate this.
Sorry. But looking at like all the other Balatro word games, like none of them have exploded in the way that if you were a gambling person, you'd put all your chips on Balatro word game, right? And like
we've established, Balatro is not a gambling game.
No, sorry, nothing to do with that. And like maybe Wordplay here will have a second life. Like he is bringing it to mobile. In one of the videos, he said that Apple Arcade passed on it, which seems like what? Come on, Apple Arcade. This seems like a bold move.
They're asleep at the wheel over at Apple.
Tell me you don't know anything about video games, but you're in charge of picking which ones to buy on your platform.
I'm so excited for this to come to phones so I can tell my parents who do the New York Times spelling bee every morning.
Yes.
Yeah, and they will just be able to like ace the legendary difficulty first time because they've been training to make words for their entire life.
That'll be sweet. Yeah, it is weird thinking about like, okay, what is this game's path to wild success? Obviously, Mark Brown here doing well. It's not like this is a make or break game by any means, but it's like, yeah, if the New York Times picked this up and was pushing a roguelike game in their army of games, like, is that what it takes to get one of these to that explosive level? Because it is super fun.
And like my criticism of the style is a minor criticism because I do like the game and I think the core gameplay is very smart. And I do think it's smart to be going after the New York Times type of crowd for word games. Mm-hmm. But like, I think the reason Balatro blew up so much was because that game was oozing with style and aesthetic.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like if Balatro had looked like a Tri-Peaks solitaire mobile game, like I don't think it would have been nearly as popular.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
Wordplay. It's $8 on Steam at the moment. It's fun. You probably know right now if you're going to like it. If you think you'll like it, you'll like it. Wordplay, everybody. I will say, I remember a couple of years ago when I was at GDC, I was sitting next to Mark Brown, who I never really met, but I was sitting next to him before a panel started, and it was like, I have never seen a celebrity like that at GDC. Like, Jacob, you know how you were in Brazil where everybody stopped you on the street?
I was going to say, come to GDC with me, baby. Just kidding. He actually killed the developers out of Make Games.
You can't do it. But it was amazing how many developers were like, oh my God, Game Maker's Toolkit, thank you so much. Like, it was, I saw a, hour-long window in that guy's life. Like, I can't imagine what the rest of that week at GDC was like. So, popular YouTube channel, it turns out, over there. Speaking of popular, it's all about being popular. Like Pokemon Presents. Whole presentation happened earlier this week. I have a reaction stream on our YouTube channel if you want to check out that thing. The showcase itself, Bossman, as a Pokemon fan, I think you'd agree, not exactly a barn burner.
Worst Pokemon Presents, maybe the worst.
Yeah,
it's ever done of those.
We got to see extended gameplay of,
so it's notable. Okay,
it was notably bad for sure. Yeah, but it was like Pokemon Legends ZA running on Switch 2. It was nice to see a bunch of footage of that and be like, okay, it looks better. I don't think the art direction is blowing anybody away, but there's something there. And then a series of little announcements like, okay, we're showing more about Pokeland Kanto, which is like their little theme park thing, which is cool to see. I'm very happy that it's separate from like Universal and Nintendo Land and all that stuff. That Pokemon gets
much more chill, I would say.
Yeah, and it's cool too because they kept talking about like, oh, you can find all these Pokemon in the woods, and like half the little theme park area is just going to be forest, which is so sweet. But then
it's like they're like mini golf monsters. You know what I mean? They're like big. I think they're like stationary fiberglass creatures, and that they'll probably just play noises through speakers and stuff. Like it looks low budge.
It does, but at the same time, I was like, well, that's a bummer. I was expecting like cool animatronics hiding in the woods, just some sort of like gamification of like how many can you find out there or something. But then it's like, yeah, they're low budget, but they're cool looking sculptures. But it would be kind of fun to, if you lived near here, keep going back, and if they rotated them out all the time, like every week, they just have different. They're going to?
No, I said they're not going to.
You don't think they're going to rotate the Pokemon?
No.
I think they
might do like special holiday stuff that could be cool, like seasonal. Like put some hats on them at one point, but I don't think they're gonna
hats at best.
So okay, so you think they're going?
And I'll be lined up for those hats, baby, because I'm super basic.
You think they're going to be like nailed down to the core of the earth where Donkey Kong lives?
Yeah,
that would be such a bummer.
It's crazy. You already had this leap of assuming they would swap them out.
Look, I'm probably never going to go to Pokemon Park Kanto anyway, but I had some imagination for it. But, there's other stuff, updates on odds and ends, a bunch of mobile stuff, yada, yada, yada. But they announced a game called Pokémon Friends, which I was like, okay, little puzzle game, little Pokemon game, whatever. And then I started playing it and I was like, I kind of like Pokemon Friends. I'm kind of digging what they're doing here. Kyle, Bossman, I assume you checked out. Jeff, did you get a chance to check out Pokemon Friends?
Yeah, I've been playing some.
Okay, Bossman, what do you think about this little puzzle experience on mobile for Pokemon?
Something that I've always been saying is that we need more freaky games.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely a game for freaks. You get me? Imagine Brain Age. If you ever played a Brain Age game on the DS, right? Where you gotta solve some puzzle. You do your daily puzzles and you like put a little stamp on the day. They do that. That's what this game is. It's Brain Age with Pokemon themed puzzles. And then you turn your completed puzzles into yarned up plush Pokemon that you can put in your collection or you can give to people around town to make your town happier.
Yeah. It is genius to have you're untangling yarn and then you're making plushies and cool different Pokemon with the plushies. There you go. There's your loop.
You're making plush, Hanson.
Plush, please forgive me.
Am I the only one who was really grossed out by them using plush as the plural form of plushies?
No, we love the plush. We're born in the plush.
No.
Okay.
I don't like that.
I also had that feeling, Bossman, where I was like, I've jumped into so many of these little mobile Pokemon games. Let's jump into Magikarp Jump. Let's jump into Cafe Mix. And I was just being like, okay, got it. Ugh. But this one's like, it's clean enough. And I'm like, if it's given kids who are huge Pokemon fans little like daily puzzles, I think it's kind of cool.
I was thinking last night, like this would actually make a child more intelligent. Basically, if you're just thinking like all they're talking about is puzzles so far. Like the reason I talk about like Brain Age specifically, right, is like it's and a lot of these ones in the Pokemon game require you to think in 3 dimensions in a way of like a modern SAT question. You know what I mean? Like twist this picture of blocks in your mind and think about in like a different perspective are a lot of the puzzles. Yeah. And they're really fun and satisfying in that way.
How many puzzle types are there?
I think like 10. There's a lot.
Okay.
But you also got like the DLC code because it's also on Switch. And so you can expand the puzzle base. You can pay to unlock more puzzles, the ability to play more puzzles throughout the day and stuff like that if you really want to.
Game is really for freaks and it's something we have to talk about.
Yeah.
So on mobile, it's free. On Switch, it's a $10 game. You can, on the mobile version, pay those $10 to make it basically a Switch version of the game, meaning you can do as many puzzles as you want back to back to back to back.
I see.
But where it gets really freaky for freaks is that there are 2 DLC expansions that include more puzzles and more possible plushes. Those are $15 each. The expansions cost more than the game itself. So like they want you to get into your daily puzzles. They want you to get involved with these plush, and then you want to say like, oh well, it's just $15 more for more of this thing that I already love.
That's gaming, man.
I need more yarn.
Yeah, you need it.
Isn't that wild?
It is an odd little system. And Jacob, you should know that this game takes place in a very rich piece of Pokemon lore. It takes place in a place called Think Town. So it's unclear where on the Pokemon map Think Town exists, but I'm glad to know that it does actually exist out there.
Hey, I wish I lived in Think Town these days.
Yeah, no kidding.
That'll be an upgrade.
We could all spend some more time in Think Town.
Other weird thing about this game, Pokemon Friends here, the director is one Yosuke Oshino, also the director of Mario Maker 1 and 2.
No way.
This is his follow-up to Mario Maker 2. Is he directed Pokemon Friends?
Does this bode poorly for like a new Mario Maker game?
I think it does.
Yeah.
For people who are thinking.
That's sad.
No, but yeah, for people thinking that, in the background, quietly, they're working on Mario Maker 3. Maybe they are with a different director, or maybe he's now freed and he made Pokemon Friends. And maybe this will be a living game forever and we'll never get that new Mario Maker because he's consumed by people wanting more and more Pokemon puzzles until the end of time.
This game, like, it is overpriced and it should be like free to students. I really think like this game is like, it's an educational game first and foremost.
Yeah, I think so. Pokemon Friends, everybody. There we go. Hey, Jeff Marchiafava.
Yeah.
Do you know how this whole thing operates?
Mics that periodically cut out because that's what yours has been doing.
Perfect. Only for you, my friend. Only for you. That's right, Jeffem. Patreon. Patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. You jump in and you support us at any tier, you unlock a benefit. We greatly appreciate it. Keeps this whole pirate ship afloat. Thank you to some of our biggest friends on planet Earth talking about I Am 8-Bit. They want you to know about their mystery bundles. You can get a mystery bundle of I Am 8-Bit physical Switch games, physical PS5 games, physical PS4 games, or the vinyl mystery bundle, where you get 5 mysterious video game soundtracks thanks to I Am 8-Bit. Some people in the Discord have been checking this out using the promo code World UFO Day for 10% off, if it's under $100, of course, and then have been delighted by what they're receiving in the mail. I Am 8-Bit, they have great taste, and so it's a great little mystery of, all right, someone with great taste, they're going to send me 5 physical games or 5 vinyls. What will they choose? That is what I Am 8-Bit is offering in their wonderful online store, in addition to a bunch of other wonderful things, of course. So again, you can go to that store, help support them, use that promo code World UFO Day for 10% off of everything that happens to be under $100. And you should help support I Am 8-Bit because they support the MinnMax community in a huge way by shipping out a prize each and every week to whoever has the best questions submitted over there on Patreon. You support us at any tier on Patreon. You can submit a question. We choose our favorites, and then we choose our number 1 tippy-top favorite, and that person will win a prize. This week, I Am 8-Bit's going to ship out Manifold Garden on Nintendo Switch, the physical edition. That'll just show up in your damn mailbox. So that's why you should support I Am 8-Bit. Keep them around. Use that promo code, please. We love them. All right, you ready for questions?
I'd prefer the Rumor Meister.
Oh, yeah. Janet, you got a password attempt here?
Yeah, put your birthday in.
Okay. So 4/15/87. No.
After that, you can try the last 4 digits of social.
Okay, going with this one. Yeah, there's a 15-minute cooldown. We got to wait for the social.
Oh, man.
All right, Rumormeister coming up later. The Juan One writes in. They say, hey, MinnMax crew, what are your thoughts on the trailer of the new Hellraiser game? I'm glad it's a single-player game and not another asymmetrical horror game. No offense, Haley. It feels refreshing. Seeing Clive Barker on the project helps as well.
So I got a question. Yeah. Is this like new canon? Is this like we are continuing the story of Hellraiser through this video game?
Is this a franchise that people are like, what is the canonical continuation of the Hellraiser story?
Hellraiser's got freaks. You know what I mean? Like
Pokémon Friends?
Like we're talking about Pinhead, the guy who's got a grid on his head with little nails sticking out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would say like one of the 8 horror icons to have ever existed in film. You know what I mean? Like he's that guy in a sense. So like I would say the franchise itself has some lovers, you know?
Yeah.
Gavin UK in the chat says the game is canon. So
interesting.
According to
that's
Gavin
what I'm talking
UK,
about. And Gavin wouldn't know if Gavin wasn't already a fan of Hellraiser. You know what I mean? The fans are like, this is the new stuff.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah, it was weird seeing that trailer because I feel like Hellraiser is kind of one of those franchises where just like people who love horror have very different when you're getting recommended something by someone who's really into horror, you do kind of have to run it through the like, is this good if I'm a horror sicko, or is this good for like a regular person? Right. And I've never quite known where Hellraiser is on that, but I am very excited. One, that it is a single player, presumably linear game. Love that. And two, the reason that I heard about this game at all was because Olavier Nelson Jr. is the voice of the protagonist, who's, the head of Strange Scaffold, and people know him from his like very endearing TikToks and stuff. But like, I genuinely think one of the best game voice actors working today. Like, I think his work in El Paso Elsewhere is unbelievably good. And so like, I will kind of play a game just to hear him do like a vocal performance. I was excited to see that. And it tells me also that like, I think the developers are probably kind of plugged in if they were like, we want that guy. He was really good in that indie game.
We're big Strange Scaffold fans. Yeah. I mean, everybody always talks about how amazing Strange Scaffold is just for cranking out as many games as they crank out. And then on top of that, you think about Olivier voicing a character in Hellraiser, writing on Borderlands 4. It's like, it's not just that the studio's cranking out a bunch of stuff, but now they're starting to be picked apart in 1,000 different ways for different projects.
He maybe sleeps like an hour a night.
It's confusing, yeah. And so it's made by Saber Interactive, who just made Space Marine 2. Was that just last year, I think? Yeah. Now, I do worry a little bit about this. They're making the John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos game as well, so they got their niche. But I do worry about, is this going to delay our dearly beloved Jurassic Park survival game?
Please.
Oh, no. That thing needs to get to my doorstep as quickly as possible. But, there's room apparently for more fans in the Saber Interactive camp here with Hellraiser. So curious how
I will say this. Talking about like the world of video game trailers.
Yeah.
Probably the most implied nudity I've seen for a game of this scale ever.
Since Donkey Kong Bonanza's reveal trailer. It is a lot of sex in the reveal trailer. They know what they're doing. Yeah.
The trailer also said that you can go watch the Red Band version on their website as well.
Yeah, I feel like I just watched it.
I couldn't imagine more nudity and violence.
It just opens up with sex, and then after they're done having sex, she immediately picks up the puzzle box and starts playing with it and opens up. Don't play with the puzzle box.
Look, some people light up a cigarette after making love. Some people pick up a puzzle box from hell. Who are you to judge, man? Luis Perez.
That's where you went wrong.
Yep. They write in, and Luis asks, hey, does Yoshi have a 3D platformer in him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. When we get to like the point of the Nintendo movies where they're making a standalone Yoshi movie, then they'll sync it up and make the big attempt at a Yoshi 3D platformer.
What is it?
Well, where would we even start?
I mean, is it like you do like a Sonic where he can get in the egg and roll really fast? Is it like a third-person shooter with eggs?
Write that down.
What's the gimmick?
I think
you grab stuff with your tongue.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's the tongue.
It's all tongue.
Like the Hellraiser.
So, next question.
No, what do you mean? Yeah, I think that would work. Behind the shoulder, right? Third person, you're aiming your eggs. Doesn't that feel novel? But then you're jumping around. You get a world that, how would the Yoshi's Island art look in 3D? Yoshi's Story isn't quite there.
They would do it. They would do it however they want their new shtick to be. So like their last thing was crafted, so things were like made out of paper and paper plates and crayons, and before that it was wood. So they'd have some type of shtick to it. I just don't know what that shtick would be.
All food.
Baked. It should be all food. Food is like one of the most popular video game worlds in my apartment. I don't know about the rest of the world, but
you have,
I
like,
love
the vegetable
food
world, the dessert world.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like
Butcher shop,
Kirby
terrifying.
gameplay, because like Kirby gameplay is like it's like primarily 3D with kind of like 2D moments. I think that's what it would translate into, and I think it'd be like similar, because the big thing about Yoshi is like exploration and like finding hidden secrets and like the challenge of 100%ing the levels, and I think they'd still maintain that, but just in a 3D. It'd be like 3D Land,
Yeah.
but made of food.
I got a question about like the nature of Yoshi as a protagonist. Because like when you ride Yoshi can like eat a shell or eat a different fruit and change color and is basically a different Yoshi. However, when like you're Yoshi in Mario Party, you're green Yoshi, you are the Yoshi.
Yeah.
And so I do wonder if in this game that is starring Yoshi, if we could still eat a thing and change color, or if that would imply that we're a whole different Yoshi at that point.
Does that get murky? I do think obviously changing color would be part of the fun. I don't know if this is a matter of just immediately hot swapping to everything. Like you're hot swapping to a different character if you touch some food, stuff like that, or if you're collecting different skins and they could just kind of bake it into the one character. You're changing a lot no matter what.
Different.
That's what they did for craft. Yeah.
Mechanisms.
But on top of that, though, you go for like Yoshi's Island stuff, where it's like not only are you changing color all the time, but you're changing into like helicopter, you're changing into the mole. You got all those abilities in 3D.
I was gonna say, isn't it weird that like kind of every Nintendo platformer is like you change into a different guy to do stuff?
That's actually like kind of what I felt was a little bit, I don't know, like same old a little bit with like Bananza having the transformations, because like we already have like Kirby is like OG that. Mario is kind of dipping into that more, which you could argue he's done it before, because you could argue his like mushroom transformation and his like Tanuki stuff is like there. Yoshi, of course, like has transformed since the first game. So it just feels like the one person that wasn't transforming is like now also transforming. And it's like, but then at the same time, transformations are fun. So it's like, I guess. But I just feel like
is part of human nature. We love seeing something digivolve.
Yeah, we need more digivolve.
You're right. It all comes back to that. It's the nucleus of they're all designed.
Princess Peach throws a banquet at the beginning of the game. Yoshi eats too much. He goes to sleep, and then that's the game. And he's going through all the food worlds of the stuff that he ate.
Yeah, just food coma Yoshi. I do feel like it is doable. It feels ripe. It feels like if Donkey Kong's getting his big 3D effort, Yoshi should get it too, right? Because, hang on, now I'm trying to think.
He can.
When was the last?
He doesn't need it.
I mean, Toad got his own fucking game.
Okay, all right. I don't need to besmirch Toad's good name.
First of all, that was Captain Toad, okay? Wasn't that just some rando off the street of the Mushroom Kingdom, Jeff?
Not a loser
General
Civ.
You put some respect on Captain Toad's name, okay? This is an employed king, okay? He's out there working. He's exploring.
But hang on, is the last time...
and it was awesome.
It was no doubt. Is the last time that the Tokyo team worked with Yoshi, was it Galaxy 2? Am I forgetting something? He's not in Mario 3D World anywhere, right?
Oh, are the Yoshi games, are they like feel good, or they're a whole other team is what you're saying?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, I mean, but if we'd want, the Tokyo team specifically, like this Odyssey Donkey Kong team, it's weird that like they haven't, for as much as they've been working with Mario, they have not done that much Yoshi stuff, really. The
reason the person asked that question is Yoshi is B tier or C tier even, like it is tough for Yoshi to star in a AAA game.
But yeah, it's like, it's hard for me to even think what Yoshi's kind of personality is. Like, I guess you would do like,
it doesn't matter.
It would be, well, no, because like, it's like, is he like frenzied parent? Like that's kind of the most character he has is like Yoshi's story. He's like, oh, he's chasing the babies around. But it's like, otherwise he's just like a horse. It's just like making a game about a horse.
Whoa. Why so much hate for Yoshi? Also, Yoshi has a lot of games. I think it's a little, like, I would agree that he is like a lower tier, because it's like, he's not Mario, he's not Zelda, but yeah, I mean, like, what is his personality? One, I think most Nintendo characters don't really have any personality. But two, I would say he's like fun-loving vibes. It's like, it's him, it's Poochie, we're all hanging out together. Does that not mean anything to anybody else in this call? Like, that was a big part of my life.
He bakes cookies? I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's fun. He's a fun guy. Is that not enough?
He was the post-credits tease in the Super Mario Brother movie, so he's gonna be in the sequel. Everyone wants to be
him. Everyone wants to see him.
Yeah,
they're like, Mario 64, is he here? Like, people love the Yoshi.
He's in Mario 64.
Mm-hmm. He's the king of it. And I do think, with the next movie leaning into him in a huge way with Super Mario World, as that movie was said to have been called, right? Like he's about to get his time in the spotlight more than he's ever been before, which is weird to think about. When that movie drops, it's true. Like he's going to be bigger than ever. Like this is the time.
fever across the nation.
Yeah, write a song about it.
That's what they're going to call it. He's going to be on that rooftop just performing for everybody.
Yeah. Also,
will he speak or will he just say Yoshi?
I don't know if they could resist having a stupid voice actor say some stupid line.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
What if he speaks like gibberish and then they have funny subtitles?
That'd be good.
Kids can't read,
but they get like.
That's true. Yeah.
Not today. They can't.
But they get like Will Forte.
They need to go to Think Town.
By the way,
honestly, that is annoying to go back 2 hours to our conversation about Donkey Kong. It's super annoying that I have to read every person's dialogue. Like Pauline's the only one who talks pretty much. And every time that my kid goes and talks to someone in that game, I gotta do the
That's
voice.
That's a pretty specific case for you, Mr. Wordplay. I gotta read
very
my
specific
games.
Because no kids play Nintendo games.
No,
it's just
they're for cool,
kid.
sophisticated adults. Obviously, what is weird to me though is like in that made up language. Even like when the monkeys in the beginning are talking in the cave and stuff, some of them sound like Mario. Some of them are like wahoo. They say like little Mario-esque sounds. Like this is confusing, Laura. I don't know what this language is they're talking, but it's
Mario. Like you hang
basic.
out with people enough, you kind of start to pick up their mannerisms.
Yeah.
I think it's that kind of implication.
I guess so. By the way, I need to clear my name before I'm lit up that Yoshi is an Odyssey, that you can throw the cap and control Yoshi. I forgot about that part. Please forgive me. Graham Jones writes in and says, Kyle, with the publisher grading you did the other day for New Show Plus, I realized...
so we're talking me, Kyle.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. They don't say, but I realized I don't know much about your gaming preferences. What are some of the IPs, game designers, or specific games that would define Kyle Hilliard as a gamer? No, I'm just messing with you. That define,
you add Hilliard?
Yeah, that define you as a gamer.
Generally, gosh, I did not give this one a thumbs up.
I know.
I gave it a thumbs up, and then I wrote, I want to hear what he says.
She dragged you into
so
it.
Rude. That's so rude.
So this is just for me, actually, and the person who asked.
I like scenarios. I like when I like playing a game, I like being put in a scenario. And so generally, like I'm into like not so much the story as the world that like a game allows me to take place in. You know what I mean? Allows me to hop into. So it's not favorite games. It's games that defined you is the question, isn't it?
It's kind of the same thing. What are your benchmarks?
Yeah.
What are your games?
But I think that's why like Mario 3 is my favorite Mario. You know what I mean? Like Mario 3, I think presents the clearest adventure and world of most 2D Mario games.
Yep.
And like Metal Gear Solid is the game where it's like I'm a video game nerd from this point forward. You know what I mean? Like I did like. Growing up, I didn't have a Super Nintendo as much as I desired one. I never had one. You know what I mean? I was just playing games on a Game Boy for a super long time.
Right.
Had a PlayStation, but I'm still like bad at games and played occasionally. You know what I mean? Like a healthy amount. But I feel like throughout the course of owning the PlayStation is when I became an unhealthy person in terms of loving it. And I feel like Metal Gear Solid might have been that turning point. If I never played that, I might have been like a regular kid who just plays video games a regular amount. Yeah. Without ever like truly getting attached to them. So I feel like that those two are always my faves, but also probably defining games for me.
Love it. There we go. Write an essay at home about Kyle Bossman's taste in games. Send it in. We'll read it. Hollingast writes in. They say, hey, Kyle Bossman and friends, what are some mediocre or bad games that you still think about once in a while? Months or years after having last played them. Mediocre or bad games that stick with you? Recore. That's a good one.
Recore lives in my head rent free.
Yeah.
With a couple tweaks. And by meaning a couple tweaks, I mean probably a lot of work that I don't understand because I don't make video games. That game would have been like so freaking cool. Yeah. I feel like it was almost there. So yeah, I think about that every couple days, you know, keeps the doctor away, as they say, you know.
Scorn. A big one for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I like Scorn that much, but like it makes an impression. Still think about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I read this question. I immediately thought of Welcome Tour, and it still makes me mad. It makes me mad like once a week. I like when I'm doing the dishes, I just get mad thinking about that Nintendo made that and put that out.
Don't get them started.
Just the complete lack of caring or trying to make those mini games anything more than clicking on stuff.
Don't play it for the mini games. The mini games.
It's an icon.
Skip that.
There's one
crap.
that's like Twister, right? Where you have to like basically put all 10 of your fingers on the screen at once. My screen, like I've cleaned it several times, still has my imprints from when I was trying to play Twister on my Switch 2 screen.
See? Part of that is the psychological dirtiness that you feel from just wasting your time on Welcome Tour. Kyle.
See, I still get mad every week thinking about Welcome Tour, but it's just a matter of why do people leave that goddamn game alone? It's $10. Jesus Christ. Why is it so offensive?
It's not the price. I don't care about the price. I care that Nintendo made this thing and they couldn't bother to like put a theme on a mini game or like put even like the most moderate amount of work into it beyond like, well, okay, we made a thing where you click it or you move a mouse around and so we're done.
No one's defending the mini games. One's defending the mini games. Next question. More like it. For me, it's
Actually, I have one. I have one. And I'm not saying this is a mid game. I'm not saying this game is bad, but that's like the public perception of it. And it's a game I think about a lot. Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
When I'm like, here's the thing, when I'm playing like Night Rain, I think, why this and not Marvel's Avengers? Like, why didn't people love Marvel's Avengers like they like Night Rain? But I think that for like most every game. Just, Night Rain's the recent one, but like Marvel's Avengers is such a cool like online superhero, get addicted to loot, explore areas, shoot arrows, quip with superheroes type of game. And nobody respects that game. It breaks my heart on a regular basis.
It's weird. Yeah, I have a little bit, but it's for the opposite of like for the single player. I was like, I thought the single player was fun. Like I thought the narrative was solid. The voice acting was good. Like I like a little, Miss Marvel story in there and stuff. And just like it has now just become like a punching bag. Just everybody nudges and be like, hey, Marvel Avengers, that's a crappy thing, right? It's like, no, the single player was good. I had a great time playing through that. I'm not into the loot grinding freak zone like you are, Bossman, but I'll defend half that game.
Freak zone,
yeah. For me, it's a bit of a deep cut, but I think about it a fair bit. For a fine game that was kind of released, God, it felt like peak Telltale era, but it was a game that was called 1979 Revolution: Black Friday.
Talk about this game.
I gotta Google it.
Yeah, so it is a game that takes place during the Iranian Revolution in 1979, and it is like a Telltale-esque game, but just taking place in reality. It came out in 2016 here. It did not tear, it did not get on the charts in a big way when it released, but it was just like a cool little experience that I wish was a bigger hit so that we'd have more documentary-esque games like it was going for, but interesting concept.
It's a nice pick.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, also Twisted Metal on PS3. They're those games that I'm always like, I gotta go back and try that again. Like, I know the controls were dog shit, but maybe now, like, I could understand them better or something. Like, you just convince yourself that maybe it was actually good. Never mind. Felix Don writes in and says, hello, everybody. CLCs, they say. That's us. If you could throw a Pissy Zone-style shuriken at a beloved game from the past years to show your pissy dislike of it to the whole world, which game would it be?
And so, is this specifically from R210?
I feel like it's cleaner if it is. Yeah, like that's where they got their due. So Pissy Zone style, if you could just throw a shuriken and get rid of that thing forever. What 210's game?
So they're asking, what do you believe is the most overrated game of the last 2 years?
Yeah, I suppose so. That made our 210s.
The one that you're the most mad
or more like
at.
conjures inner hatred. I think the shuriken should be replaced with like a poison vial because I don't want it traced back to me.
Yeah,
I want it to be like, oh my god, who killed it? And I'm like, who did? And I know it's me,
you're
but
good
no one
enough
else knows.
ninja.
If you throw from
you
can throw from far away.
We have faith.
I'm glancing at the list now.
Yeah,
I only have the one shuriken, so I want to make it count.
You got to really make it count. Go to MinnMax.com. We have a whole section for our 210s if you want to see the full breakdown of everything we've ever done. I was thinking about one the other day. I know Surreal was a big fan of it, but I think I'd shuriken Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Whoa.
I love Paper Mario, but I was
pick.
thinking more about like that combat system, how often you have to do it and how unsatisfying it is and how ultimately pointless it is. I think Origami King would have to get the shuriken right in the back of the head. Long live the king indeed.
I don't know if I certainly wouldn't have done it at the time. But now that the game with the huge potential for predatory monetization has revealed that it's actually a predatorily monetized game like every other game in the genre, Infinity Nikki, like, are we still happy with that now that everyone hates that game because it's did the same thing as every other game in that genre?
The Fall from Grace was really rough to watch.
It's like the gambling game has gambling in it. Shoot, darn it.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
It's like I don't want to take away the joy that everyone was feeling with Infinity Nikki last year, you know. And I think that all the arguments were good, but now that it's kind of become its final form, it feels like it doesn't deserve it anymore.
Okay. Yep. That's fair.
My first thing that I gravitated to was Mini Shoot Adventures because I played it right before our discussions a little bit and thought it was very much fine. But I wasn't like, it was kind of like already part of the list. And I wasn't like even that far into it. So I said, let's just let him have it. But I really thought that game was like super overrated. I didn't see any of what y'all saw in this game.
Okay. It was the apostrophe mainly that we liked. It was only number 19.
Yeah, I think that did it.
Yeah,
that's exactly too. But you know,
I get it.
Who says who tossed it? You know?
Yeah.
To be mean, I might also take out Nobody Saves the World. I just don't see what you see in that game.
Really? That's such a. I was amazed.
Two people are seeing something you don't see. Maybe you're like, I'm crazy. You know? Does that help?
I played like a good amount of it, and I kept kind of waiting for it to like transcend into like the game that y'all love.
It was your Mini Shoot Adventures. No,
yeah. It truly. I think we feel the same way about those games.
No,
I had such a good time. You know, those games just hit you in the right spot, right time in your life. Like that. Nobody Saves the World was just like a laser focused shot to my heart.
If I didn't do that, I wasn't here at the time. I got to go back and listen to it. Days Gone sticks out to me. I feel like that was
careful. Jeff,
that was like an overcorrection. That seems like an overcorrection pick. But I gotta go back and listen to those episodes.
Jeff got a Days Gone tattoo. This guy's nuts for this crap.
No, were we were doing MinnMax when Days Gone came
2019.
out?
Not when it came out, but for the end of the year. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Wow. I would have done Astrobot.
Whoa! Wow. Okay, Bossman. Wow. Pipe down.
Number one, Fall from Grace.
Spicy.
Yuck. If I could,
Astrobot was number 1 last year, by the way.
It was.
He's actually going for a number 1 spot here.
Yeah, that's bold.
Everyone's like, 19. It should have been 19. He's like, yeah, number 1, kill it.
Anything to move Balatro even one spot up.
So you're playing a meta game in this hypothetical.
Yeah, 1,000 Times Resist was up there too, but
wow. And look, I'm happy where I threw my shuriken, but I'll spare this second shuriken going to this game if, Janet, you tell me that you played one more second of Bravely Default 2.
Go ahead.
You're gone.
No, but I have the first one also, so I'm gonna just go.
Yeah, all right. Go enjoy that. Everyone's gonna enjoy time for Bravely Default at some point in their lives, and
I guarantee you, when I finish it, you're not gonna want me to talk about it. So you want to silence me?
Okay,
you can do it on bonus pod though, Janet. Have you
that's
thought
true.
about that?
I feel like
relegated. That's okay. It's okay.
I feel like you went back and played the other game that we're competing for in that year, which is Forza Horizon 5. Would you still put Bravely Default 2 above Forza Horizon 5?
Where did 5 take place again?
That was the Mexico one.
I think so. I played more Bravely Default 2 than I played Forza Horizon 5. The Mexico stuff had some really cool stuff. Like you could drive through the pyramids. Like that was dope. But I think structurally it wasn't as good as the Australia one.
3?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
I gotta go in here. I got a shuriken one still.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about 210's 2023, okay? I want to talk just the top 5.
No.
Resident Evil 4 Remake, heck yeah.
Okay.
Number 4, Alan Wake 2, heck yeah. Number 3, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. At 3, that's crazy. What was number 1? Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, what was number 2? Hitman Freelancer?
You should have been there, man. You should have been.
I'm sure. I don't care. I would shuriken it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, we're going too far with this. I got a shuriken. I got to kill it.
Yeah. Smart. Okay. He'd never see it coming.
The thing that Leo said that I was like, can't argue with that. He was like, I like this game more than any of you will like your favorite game. And I believed him. He sold it.
At that moment, I would kill the game. I would say, like, sorry, bro, it's gotta go.
Wow, love it.
You could have had it. He should have been happy to have that game at 19, but like above Zelda is crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Again, it was a filibuster situation, a filibuster of passion. You couldn't argue with it. We were standing and applauding by the end of his speech. We were helpless. Rich Lynch writes in, they say, hey, MinnMax, since you've been in touch with them for a few weeks now, do you have any theories regarding who the rumor Meister might be? Right now, my money is on Reggie Fils-Aimé, they say. That's possible. He's pretty plugged in.
And he's been like pretty like lippy these days. Like Reggie's been kind of like critical and talking about a lot of Nintendo stuff he shouldn't be talking about, you know?
Yeah. He's doing a bunch of kind of subtweet stuff. Like when there was the debate about Welcome to Her Price, he just posted that thing about, back in the day, technically, I had to argue for Wii Sports being free, It's like a lot of that type of shade.
He's burning bridges, so yeah, maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Try the password. Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie? Reggie123?
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll gamble. Yeah, no. Oh,
I should have went with my body.
You just locked us out for 15 more minutes.
Oh my God! I gotta hear that message. What is it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, we got more questions. I wrote down Reggie123 and then I thought that was the username. Reggie123 writes in. No, Unsupreme writes in. Hey, MinnMax, would you rather delete your entire gaming library? Physical copies as well. Or wear wet socks for the next 6 months, including while you sleep.
Your feet would fall off and die.
It is a trench foot situation. It would be really bad for you.
So lose your feet or lose your gaming collection. That's kind of tough.
Lose your library or your feet is the question.
Yeah, don't make me choose.
Dang. I mean, you lose your feet, more time for gaming.
Interesting. Boss, when you take clean slate, delete everything, erase it, I'll start anew.
New games, like honestly, like my backlog is a burden,
Okay.
And if I get like dry feet for it, I'll take the dry feet.
Okay, there we go. Toke F writes in, fun fact. We don't encourage this enough. People write in with fun facts. I guess it's kind of what Get a Load of This is, but yeah, fun facts, they're encouraged. Fun fact, Mafia games, we know them, some of us like them, release every console generation, starting with Mafia on the Xbox and PS2 in 2004.
Not every generation then, okay.
Well, starting with the good generations. Mafia 2 on Xbox 360 and PS3 in 2010. Mafia 3 on the Xbone and PS4 in 2016. And then Mafia the Old Country on PS5 and Xbox X and S. And they say, until 2022, all Saints Row games had released for the same console, the Xbox 360 as well. Oh, interesting. Wait, that's a weird, it's a weird twist at the end, but okay, I can dig it.
The new Saints Row came out on Xbox 360?
No, they're saying until the new one.
Oh.
So like Saints Row 4 and like Get Out of Hell came out on 360.
Everything was on 360. Everything was compressed down, whereas Mafia was fully spread out. That's kind of fun. Sent the Prophet says, awesome having Kyle on this month. My main 2 Patreon supports have been MinnMax and Kyle Bossman. I'm an old school fan of Game Informer and game trailers. I love the crossover content, especially the report cards. Thank you, Sent the Prophet. Very sweet. They say, I've been thinking though, I don't really like Kyle Bossman. No, I've been thinking about the excellent Switch 2 launch, but the lack of a killer app for the mouse controls. What about a Mario RTS? Give me a StarCraft 2 game with a Nintendo skin, please. What would the factions be? What would be the mouse killer app for the Switch 2?
Mario Paint.
Okay, here's the thing. Mario RTS is a fun idea. Like mining mushrooms, and like the other faction would be Bowser's whole thing. You know?
You could do it.
The Brutals have their own, that rabbit family, they've got their own weird faction.
Ugh, don't let them near us. They're disgusting.
Yeah, well, they're like the Xylons. Sorry, I don't know the names of the 3 factions.
The Protoss?
They're like the Protoss. Yeah, they're like they're the weirdos.
Construct more digital Xylons, as they say, yeah. But then again, I mean, Pikmin is the most logical answer, right? Already kind of an RTS. If they just lean in for Pikmin 5 into like...
There will be mouse controls, but it won't be a killer app, right? Because we are already so comfy without that mouse.
I almost think that Nintendo would not design an RTS complicated enough that it would necessitate mouse controls. Like it kind of seems like it's not their MO as a company. So I mean, it's like Metroid. Again, it's like Metroid's a cool answer, but all the other Metroid Prime games have been cool without them. So it doesn't feel like you need it.
I bet. Here's my bet. I bet by the end of the Switch 2's life cycle, I bet the best case people can make for the mouse controls is still going to be Metroid Prime 4. It's not going to be great.
First party though, you're talking, right? Okay.
I mean, I'll say it all. I'll say it all.
The one thing I have been excited for that I'm still like kind of waiting to happen is some of these like really hot indie games that only feel good on keyboard and mouse to hit Switch. Like even like Case of the Golden Idol. I'm desperate for that to be like with mouse control, which I know it's on Switch 1. I have to kind of check if the controls carry over. I haven't actually looked at that, so apologies if that already exists. But or even a game like Keep Driving, which a lot of us were hot on for earlier this year. That is a game that I'm like, I need Switch 2 right now for this game. Again, killer app, a little dramatic just because it doesn't have the reach, but that's what I'm most looking forward to in terms of like the Nindy renaissance for Nintendo.
Yeah.
How are people going to play it?
What are you talking about?
Like,
the
are you
mouse
going
is
to have
really
to sit at a desk to
You put it on your
to
dumb
actually
legs or
use
whatever.
the mouse?
It's the classic
If you
conundrum.
paid attention to Welcome Tour, they do suggest your leg as well.
Yeah, you really can just use it on whatever surface. Like when I was using a regular mouse on my Steam Deck, I had, I'm not joking, the Mario 30th Anniversary Encyclopedia and like a trackpad. But I do think the traction for the tracking on the mouse for the Switch 2 is more responsive than a typical mouse is. So I do think you can get away more with a random surface.
And you were paying attention during Welcome Tour, right, Jeff? Just to be clear.
Yeah. I was paying attention when we all tried to play that mouse game and the mouse control sucked for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we were all stupefied by how their demo for the mouse made the mouse feel bad. I had used the mouse before that and I was like, oh, this actually feels good. And then I tried to click on an icon really fast by moving over to it. And it was weirdly like unresponsive or inaccurate.
I just think if you got Welcome Tour in the comfort of your own home, you were laid back on the couch and read through the stuff that's actually interesting in that game where they talk about the design of the system instead of being on a wacky live stream
but
saying
then I
play
would be
these bad
stuck
mini-games.
On these fucking mini games that I don't want to play in order to get
you have to get the stamps. You
unlock.
don't have to play the mini games. You just have to get the stamps. You can skip the mini games. Have fun by skipping the games.
Don't. Sure. Okay.
Right.
Well, you won me over with that argument, I guess.
Thank you.
Serious answer though, like I think of like creativity tools as the way. Like if there were to be a new Mario Maker, like a mouse would be clutch for it if you're designing.
Yep.
Especially if you can like do custom, graphics or anything. They wouldn't allow that because people would do bad things. But maybe just colorize things. I think that would be cool. So yeah, something maybe like Mario Paint kind of thing could be a killer app. But generally, I'd recommend against it. I would tell them don't lean on that mouse because Jeffem's right. It's just not good.
It's not good. Yeah. That being said, I could see them porting StarCraft 2 to Switch 2. I think that'd be a cool game to have there. But even then, it's going to be a novelty and it's going to sell 100 copies. Rhina Gogo writes in, they say, howdy MinnMax, now that Pac-Man has been warped into a wacky Metroidvania, I need to know what other odd or old arcade games need similar treatment. Everyone think of some freak game and genre combo and decide which one will be the most fun. Rhina Gogo says, I choose Burger Time, but it's a action hack and slash. So you're like hacking up cows and then getting the meat and then you have to collect and then assemble the giant burgers that way?
Oh, preferably not, bro.
So you're just hacking up ingredients?
Yeah, just like some lettuce, please. I don't want to kill an animal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's cut that part, actually. I take it back.
Burger Time, but it's like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance control. Where you can
and so instead of like...
slices.
Yeah, instead of just slicing stuff as well, you can also, like, if you get it at just the right angle as the bun is falling, you can, like, smear mayonnaise, like, perfectly along the bun as it's coming down. That'd be pretty good.
I'm picturing Missile Command, but it's like a single-player, narrative-heavy kind of story game.
That'll never catch on. That'll get 100 reviews on Steam. I was thinking of, have you guys ever seen the old shooter called Pro Gear from Capcom? It's like a really late Capcom I say shooter, it's a space shooter, plane shooter type of thing, right? 1943 style, but it's called Pro Gear from 2001 and it has such an awesome art style. It's kind of like World War I, but really bold, weird designs for the ships and stuff. And so I just want to see that art.
Is nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so I want to see that in like full 3D. I don't know if it's like an action adventure, something where I can actually get in the plane in 3D and fly that around. I just want to see more of that art from Pro Gear.
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
I also thought of that a little bit. But what's
just
the genre?
just make a new Dig Dug. I don't care. Don't change the genre.
Isn't that Bananza?
It's great. I love digging. It pretty much is. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Minecraft.
Good
A
dude.
game
I like it
about
so
digging
much.
a hole. Jeffem, did you play a game about digging a hole?
I didn't. No.
What?
It's
Oh,
fun.
really? Yeah.
Really
It
good.
is so.
That'd be
It
a
is
thing.
so. It is so for me.
Oh,
That's the missing piece.
Man.
Can someone do something with the game Tapper? I
yeah.
haven't thought of an idea yet. The bartending game where you like fling the beers
Oh,
or
yeah.
root beer.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know what the twist there would be. Like when I try to think of it, I just ended up making games that already existed, like visual novel.
There's that game that's like Valhalla Cyber Bartender.
Bartending, that's the one I thought
Yeah.
of, yes.
Yeah, or it
Doesn't
would be-
feel different enough, you know, like
No.
like shaking it up, yeah.
Could you make it like a, gamifying lifestyle kind of app thing as well, where you're like, it's like you're making cocktails and stuff and it's all Tapper themed, and then the phone can detect when you're sliding your drink down the table to a friend?
Oh, like that old, remember when the apps first existed and they had like,
Yes.
look, it looks like beer.
Yeah,
and
they
you
have that in there
toast
too.
it.
They have that in
you
there
had the
too.
lighter and you had
Yeah.
the beer you could drink.
Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
the way we lived. Actually, I
God,
think
that was a
Tapper,
good
but it's,
time.
you know what, Tapper, but it's overcooked.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Work,
Yeah.
actually. That's a good idea.
Yeah, done and done.
So, I'll put my Venmo in the description so anyone can fund this game.
I worked at a restaurant. I saw how stressed they got when like 4 people ordered margaritas and they were like, I need to squeeze 30 limes.
Help me!
I think low-key, I think Centipede would be good because it's fun to grow. It's fun to be a monster that grows.
Yeah.
So like maybe reverse Centipede, you play as a centipede, and like there's some like little idiots who are like, kill the monster, and you go like, oh, you just like eat them, and like
Yeah.
you grow and become a stronger, nastier centipede.
cool.
I think would be cool.
So carry on.
Yeah.
Yep, that'd work.
That's a good idea.
Gary McCrae says, recently I had to travel for work and it was surprisingly delightful. Oh yeah, I love traveling for work. It's the best. But also thank you, MinnMax Patreon supporters. But the best part is going to the airport and getting some crappy Chinese food on the MinnMax tab. Oh, I just get to stuff my face full of sesame chicken. It's the best. Anyways, Gary says, what's the best work trip you've ever taken and why?
Best for me. All right. So this is like early when I'm starting to like make videos on the internet. So this is like year 1 for me as like an online personality. The Pokemon company called Game Trailers, and they're like, would you send anyone out to come to the Pokemon World Championships?
Oh
and they're
my
like,
God.
no. But then I was like, I would love to, I want that. I want to do that. So they sent me to Vancouver and like got me a hotel room. And this was cool to me. Like that was novel. That was the first time I got to like do a trip like that. And like not a lot of people said yes. So like they would show me the personalities they wanted to like surface. You know what I mean? Like here's a few like video ready like winners. You know what I mean? Amongst the Pokemon community. Some of those people like blew up and are like still like making videos today actually, which is really cool. But like it was kind of fun to be like treated as press on that trip. And also Vancouver is a really, really nice city. So that's my favorite, I think, still.
I love that. Yeah, I went to the Pokemon World Championships in 2019. It was in Washington, D.C. And it was like the video bombed harder than I've ever seen a video bomb, but I still like the idea where I was like, how do you capture this event through a video? Like a travelogue, sure, I guess, but let's try and get a sense of the people here. And I still really like this idea and I'd love to try it again. Hopefully I'd find an audience this time. But my angle was, I was like, okay, it's inspired by that Simpsons episode. It was like 22 short films in Springfield, whatever the heck, Or I was like, I'm going to go to the Pokemon World Championships and I'm just going to like make little documentaries about, was it like 12 different people, like 12 different types of people who go to the Pokemon World Championships.
That's such an insane idea.
Thank you.
You're one person. This was your idea?
This was the idea. Yeah. I mean, we say little documentaries. I mean, it was just like a little slice of life of like, okay, this dad just entered his 4-year-old in a 3DS tournament for Pokemon. Okay, let's talk to the world's biggest fan of Pokken tournament. And that's another little chapter. And I really liked it.
You said Pokken? You walked in there and you said Pokken?
And he got my ass kicked by my champ
of course
himself.
he did.
Yeah. Let's see. P9XM says, shout out Kyle and Dan. On the couch for raising over $29,000 for charity this past weekend. Kyle Bossman, look at you go.
20,000 Canadian dollars. We said that, right?
They didn't, but that's an important distinction, of course.
Sure. Canadian dollars.
Yeah. They say, recently we've seen some crazy charity stream moments like the reveal of auction powers and Kyle drinking Mountain Dew dripping from Taz's duct tape mouth. What the hell are you doing over there?
Yeah, that's real.
They say, what's a charity stream incentive you thought of that would be just too far or infeasible?
Yeah, this one I can't wait to hear Ben Hansen's answer because
God.
you have a lot of unfeasible ideas.
It is, yeah, it's a lot of unfeasible stuff. I'm sure there's been, I don't know if anything jumps out for people. There's always been pitches of like, okay, this would be a huge, big swing. I don't know if we can do it. This year, this seems feasible, but I was thinking like, would it be fun? Because we've got so many, I guess, stupid characters through MinnMax lore at this point that like, would it be fun? Like one of the most successful things we ever did was Ben Starr very graciously let us put a date with Clive from Final Fantasy 16 up as like a charity auction. And it raised a ton of money. And then Ben Starr just had like a private conversation, nothing creepy, with the person who won the auction. Yeah.
Okay, apparently it was 4 hours long.
You know.
Really?
Yeah.
4 hours. I insisted it could be not that long. It didn't have to be creepy, intimate. But if it did,
no, he didn't say he felt pressured into it. To be clear, if the person who won it is listening, he talked about it very well. But I did ask about him about it recently.
Okay, but I was thinking,
that's
like,
so cool.
Yeah, it's very generous of him. But I was like, is there an expanded way to do that? Could we have
go on a date with auction powers? Is what you're saying?
Kind of. I was thinking, what if it's like the dating game, where we just have like auction powers and a couple other people, fictional characters, or sorry, very real characters from MinnMax lore.
Shot.
Right, Rumor Meister. And it's kind of like a dating game style bid to see who you go on a date with. Like, is there something there? No, I got a head shake. From Jacob and a nod. Okay, there's something there. Okay,
I mean, I guess the question is, what's an idea too far out? So yes, good answer to the question.
That's super doable.
Actually,
that's super doable.
Honestly, if we want to make it functional, like here's the thing: people would want to date Clive. You know what I mean? He's like a dateable guy. I feel like what you should do for your charity auction is one of these characters will die forever. You get to choose which one dies. Which character will you throw the poison shuriken at? The leading
maybe
bid?
They're all dying, and you get to save one.
Okay,
they're all like falling off a cliff, and like one gets the rope.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
The trolley
that's
problem
good.
has always been massively financially successful.
I think there's something here. I think there's something there. Yes, absolutely. That sounds great. Also, I just opened my notes for the Give to the Max stream, which we're probably going to be doing in October here. And I wrote a note that said, Kelsey Lewin had a dream that we drank banana water, half a banana sticking out of a glass of water.
That's a good idea, too. That's really, really good.
So that's the level.
Sometimes Kelsey does show up to our Monday meetings with dreams that she had.
It's good enough for us.
I mean, it's a new show plus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It ended up working, right?
I'm liking all these ideas that I wrote down. We got to do at least some of these. These are gold. But what Bossman, what's too far for you? What have you found?
For me, it's like, it happened during that stream, actually. My friend Dan, who like doesn't do this stuff, you know what I mean? Like he's like happy to like be here for this one stream once a year, right? And otherwise is like a very normal person who lives a normal life. So you got to appreciate that element of him, right? Like a real life friend.
Yeah.
He bought me like one of those tongues that you put in your mouth and you lick your cat with it. And I had to say, no way, not for any amount of money will I lick my cat for charity with this tongue. Because like he can't say yes or no to that. You know what I mean?
Right,
like that's a cat back there. That's a creature I love to death. And it's like I'm not gonna like involve him with this silly stuff and like embarrass him.
Right.
Like I'm happy to slurp Mountain Dew out of Taz's mouth and embarrass myself, but never, my cat.
That's so sweet. What a sweet answer.
Yeah, that's classic. That's good. Jonathan Valdez wrote in, they said, is it weird that both Kyle and Ben have civilian best friends who are much funnier, more interesting, handsomer, and would do amazing as streamers, but instead they just do occasional guest appearances? This is mostly me shouting out Dan, Ronnie, and Grant. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's nice of you, Jonathan Valdez. Thank you. Question of the week. What do y'all like?
I feel like it's got to be Yoshi.
Yoshi. All right. I think
Yoshi.
It is a good one.
We basically made the entire game for
It's
him.
done. Yeah. Print it.
It's ready now.
That's right. Louise, congratulations. You just won the prize thanks to I Am 8-Bit. There we go. And now, of course, it is time.
He needs new footwear, by the way.
Yoshi?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I was just thinking about like the box art, and Yoshi needs better than the brown booties.
Yeah.
Oh, is that going to be like a big bit? You think of the new movies? He's like, I got to get these Nikes. A lot of like those cool bits.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
It's like, I love my Nikes.
By the way, I've never seen that kind of wind up from
words.
that wind up from you, Bossman. I've seen it 1,000 times, and every time it's been about the Rumor Meister. It's the first time you had a big wind up, and it was about anything other than the Rumor Meister. So I'm glad it was.
I've been keeping track. I know we're not there at the cooldown.
Yeah. You're right.
You
You're
wasted
right.
one on.
Yeah, you're right.
In the middle of questions.
Reggie 123 was good. Okay, and now it's time for something we'd like to call "Get a Load of This." All right, I got the worst one, so I'm going to go first. And everyone has it easy beyond me.
I've got the worst one.
This is very particular to my interest, but I saw that Disney or Marvel, they just uploaded a new trailer, a new 30-second spot for the Fantastic Four. Movie I'm looking forward to seeing, right? But the headline, the name of the video was Fantastic Four -Incredibles. And I'm a huge fan of The Incredibles. I was like, what is this? And I watched it, and it was just like a review montage. And they used a line from a reviewer that said, it's like a live action Incredibles, which I understand is the snake eating its own tail and all that stuff. But I was like, this is the sign of a mega corporation that they can just, why not put the word Incredibles in the name of the trailer for Fantastic Four? It's gross, but smart. Got me to click on it. End
right,
of Get a Load of This.
Perfect get a load of this because it's so inconsequential.
Get a load of this. Mine is depressing, so I'd want to go next. This is you can find a lot of stories on this. The one I'm pulling is just from the LA Times, but it's ICE raids are leaving some LA cats and dogs homeless, and it's really sad. But like, when people are taken from their homes, sent away, like they often don't have time to set things up, or even maybe like take maybe sometimes in some cases any of their belongings, and it's just like. I think what's interesting about this story is just looking at the, extra angles of which like this sort of issue affects like people in different ways and is sort of, layered. So that's mine.
It's a good note. Links below. Check it out.
Get a load of this. Sickening Janet. ICE was in Durham today. Fuck ICE. If you hear that they're somewhere, maybe go show up there with a sign. Just make them know that they're not welcome. My real get a load of this is actually it's another movie trailer thing. I was just thinking about the other day, and some of you might remember this. Do you remember when the Tom Cruise Mummy movie was coming out?
Yes.
And for mere minutes, Universal accidentally uploaded a trailer that seemingly just had all audio channels muted except for the one where characters are making the actors are making noises.
Yes.
It's still up. You can watch it. It is one of the funniest things ever uploaded to the internet, where it's just like Tom Cruise and other people in a plane crash, and they're flying around, and there are no sound effects except for them going like, ugh, ugh. It's the
amazing.
Funniest thing in the world.
Yep.
I swore that was a fan edit. That's so crazy.
No, I
didn't know the story behind
it.
Because I think it was like they uploaded, but it was
because
like,
the voices are funny too.
Yeah. But it wasn't it something like surrounded it with like, or they released it with like surround sound and like fans just isolated one of the audio tracks?
No, it was
the official.
I believe it was just mistakenly uploaded like that, and then it was pulled down almost immediately. But people downloaded it.
Pan. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Get a load of this. This is a random website called Neil.fun. And I don't know who Neil is, but he gets fun because he's made just a bunch of like random games. One is called the password game. And the idea is that you have to create a password. And it just keeps giving you like, requirements for passwords. And it gets to the point where it's like, you have to have today's Wordle answer in the password.
Oh, fun.
And like, you have to have Roman numerals that add up to like 13. And so then like, after you put that one in, every time you add like a V or an I or something, it's screwing up the, like what your Roman numeral password is and stuff. And that was the first game that like brought me to his website. And he's got like 30 other crazy little interesting ideas in there that are all very cool.
Love it.
So
links below. Check it out.
Get a load of this. I can't believe people on podcasts aren't talking about this. Sugar-free Mentos vitamins.
This is
Now these are a breath mint, but also a daily supplement of vitamins B6, C, and B12.
Pretty good.
Not only do they taste delicious and make your breath slightly better, but you're getting slightly healthier every time you eat one.
Wow. Can you OD on that?
I think you could just there's a point where your body doesn't want more vitamins. So there's no point in it anymore, but you can't overdose on it.
Okay, cool. Love it. Hey, get a little of this.
If you push past that, you get superpowers.
Get a load of this, everybody. P9XM in the Discord and the Get a Load of This channel for the community where they share fun things all day, every day. They shared a trailer for a hot new game, and they say the geniuses at Game Mill have secured another high-value IP title.
I saw this.
This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the video game from our dear friends at Game Mill, the folks behind Kong Skull Island, every Nickelodeon kart racer, All-Star Brawl, all that fun stuff. I gotta say,
promo to publisher reviews. This is one we gave a letter grade earlier to this week, and I would have given it a better letter grade if I had seen this 3D platforming Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game.
It kind of looks good. I'm in that same camp of well, I love that stupid animated thing. I would like to play a good game based on that. Maybe this is it. Who can say?
You even play as the snowman. You play as all of the good people, basically. It's so weird.
Yeah, perfect. All right, Kyle Bossman. We're at the end of the show. Let's give it one more password attempt. Yeah. I think we can do it. Cooldown's over. What do you got?
I would like you to try Bananza, but with an O.
Bananza with an O?
Yeah.
Bonanza?
So is it every A is replaced by it?
Bononzo, please. Yes.
Bononzo.
yeah.
Bononzo? And is it all caps, Bononzo?
Of course, yeah.
Are there any numbers, letters, punctuation?
Bononzo, just that, please.
Oh my God. We're in.
You gotta think like the Rumor Meister.
Whoa. Okay. New Rumor Meister message. Here we go, everybody. Hot off the presses for the big scoops.
Rise and shine, sheeples. It's time to be shepherded. Time for 3 absolutely thick rumors. And call your grandma, because the tea is piping hot. You may have heard that Fallout 5 is now in full production, but as always, the Rumor Meister knows a little more. You're familiar with their blonde mascot, Vault Boy?
Yeah.
That question was for Ben Hansen specifically.
Yeah.
So, in Fallout 5, for the whole second half of the game, Vault Boy is real. He's a real cartoon guy walking around, and if he grabs you, you die instantly. In a closed meeting, Todd Howard said that this is to pump up the TikTok views.
Oh my God.
The Rumor Meister has come to understand that Donkey Kong Country and Universal Studios has a dark secret. They got this orangutan creeping around. It escaped from a zoo, and it thinks it's home. Nobody knows how to catch it, so it just sulks around and takes sips of people's soda when they're not looking. I have pics to prove it.
That can't be
You know the Rumor Meister isn't afraid to tangle with a little international politics, but this next one might get me in some real trouble. ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips have recently assembled a task force to reduce fear of global warming amongst youths. Their first action? Get this. Banning lava worlds from video games. Don't worry. I'll hack their calendar software so this never comes to pass.
Oh, thank God we're right.
All right. That's all for me. And I don't kiss and tell, but I do have a paint and sip with that hottie from last week. And let's just say she's no Van Gogh. So I might need to lean in and help her with the paintbrush, if you know what I mean.
What?
Wink, wink.
What?
Until next time, trust the shadows, deny the light. The Rumor Meister takes flight.
Rumor Meister. Weird.
Wow.
Weird.
Evocative.
That's a lot going on. All right, Rumor Meister, everybody.
He's making fun of this girlfriend who's not good at painting and says, I need to show her the paintbrush if you get what I mean.
I don't know if I like the Rumor Meister anymore.
I don't think so, but the rumors are so good.
Yeah, you can't say no to the rumors.
You gotta separate
We
the
put
art
up with
from the
a lot.
artist, you know?
Yep. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, listening, sharing the MinnMax show. We have stuff coming up, and we have stuff that's out there now. Which would you rather hear, the past or the future? Jeffem?
What?
That's right. Well, everybody, I'll tell you what. We have an interview. What's that, Bossman?
Future, always future.
Oh, the future. Wall of Heroes. everybody. It's a good time to jump in at the first of the month rolling over there next week with August 1st rolling in. If you jump in at the $50 tier, you can put any promotional image you want in a slideshow on every MinnMax video. So $50, promote your passion project. Could be your podcast, YouTube channel, Twitch channel, cute picture of your pet, indie game. Jump on in there, $50 on the Patreon tier and join the Wall of Heroes. Other stuff in the future, Kyle Bossman. One community meetup. Reminder is happening August 9th. Saturday, August 9th, we'll be at Uta Pills in Minneapolis, Minnesota at that brewery from 12 to 5. You can jump in the Discord channel if you want to coordinate with other folks from the community who will be attending. We'll have cute little name tags for everybody. And the plan is that all of the cohorts are going to be there in person as well. So should be a fun time. We're going to be playing Switch 2. We'll be playing Knockout Tour, the LAN party mode on a projector. So it should be fun. We might have some trivia with some prizes as well. So if you're in the Minneapolis area, you want to come on out, or if you want to make a little short trip out there, we'd love to see you August 9th at Uta Pills Brewing. There's a link in the description if you want more info on how all that works. Otherwise, at MinnMax here, we had an interview go up on Monday with one Ralph, aka SkillUp, talking about launching a whole new video game site called This Week in Video Games. You might know SkillUp from his incredibly popular YouTube channel, but then also the Friends Per Second podcast, which I'm a big fan of with Jake Baldino and Lucy James over there, but kind of using the success from YouTube to pay it forward and try and build up a site for original reporting about the video game industry. So I'm excited to see where that goes. You can check out that full interview on our YouTube channel, or it's in the bonus podcast feed, where if you join us at the $5 tier, you get access to that. Also, the podcast version of New Show Plus this week with Kyle Bossman and Leo Vader and I giving letter grades to publishers. That's in the bonus podcast feed. And also, there's a show called Bonus Pod that's in that bonus podcast feed that Haley hosts. And it is Haley and Sarah this week talking about Uma Masame, even more about that horse racing game. And it's fun. Every podcast that talks about this is like, anime women racing. Whoa. We were guilty of that, the first time we talked about it. But it's nice to have like two geeks for this stuff. Be like, let's dive into the weeds on the mechanics, why it's actually a good game, why it is so addicting. And so it's a very fun episode of Bonus Pod this week if you want to unlock that there. That's it. Anybody else dying to talk about anything? Plug anything?
Fun event stream happening this weekend on twitch.tv/Kyle Bossman. I got a concept album listening party happening.
Ooh.
Where people have sent in lots of different versions of 10 different songs. We just listen to music for that this community has made for hours and then create an album at the end of the day through your votes. So it's very fun. Really, really fun.
I love it. That sounds great.
Depending on the day you're listening to this, either on Nebula or on YouTube as well, I have a new video out. It's not a fun event stream. It's about the Nuremberg trials. But check that out if you want to, really, really go on a trip.
And a little behind the scenes, when Jacob was in South America, strangely enough, you were reading a lot about the Nuremberg trials. So I feel like
believe it or not, I've been reading about this for 5 months and it's been ruining my life.
Yeah. How does it feel to get the video out there?
That's good promo,
finally?
though. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have it out. It's possible that YouTube will nuke it off its site within the first hour of it being live, but it hasn't happened yet.
All right. Do you feel like you got it out of your system? The themes and struggles you're working with?
No, because the themes were inspired by modern events and they keep happening. Okay. So, not yet.
There you go. Check out his YouTube channel or Nebula. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next week for Kyle Bossman's last episode of the MinnMax show ever. Let's say yes, because it's more dramatic. Oh, no. No, you can come back whenever you want, man. Okay, we'll see you next week. Be good, have fun. Let's go.